and good morning, everybody. And it is a good morning on this Thursday, the 24th of July. We affectionately refer to this debacle as Breakfast with Roger and Friends. And and that includes, I work alone right now, Terry.
It's a debacle already.
Yes, well, let's call it what it is.
Yeah,
all right.
let's be honest with the folks.
Dr. Gene Sidler, good morning, Gene.
Good morning.
Good to see you, and Mike Dentino as well. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Roger.
And Terry Growy,
Good
captain
morning.
of the losing trivia team. That appeared at-
now, wait a minute. I don't know if I was the captain.
Well, that's what I understand.
no, I
You
don't think
recruited
so.
the top-notch players.
Well,
And Dr. Sidler
You can say I
said
did a lousy
you
job of
didn't.
recruiting.
You didn't. I'm not going to say that. And I understand you didn't finish last, but
No, we
awfully close to it.
Well, we were very close to last place.
What do you think? And we're talking about a trivia night at Jimmy's Bar in Farmington Road. As you know, when you come to the fork in the road, you take it. One goes to what is that? Route 8? What is the route that
Yeah,
goes
that's Route
down?
8 that heads out to Pottstown.
Pottstown, and then to the left, of course, is the continuation of Farmington Road. Jimmy's Bar, very popular, nice
What was
spot.
the original name of Jimmy's Bar?
There you go.
that was one of the questions.
Yeah.
You know, that is a good question.
Now they did ask the month and year that it opened, and since it was the 43rd anniversary,
It was the 43rd.
well, this is what the celebration
Yeah.
this week is. He's celebrating his 43rd anniversary, and this was in fact titled the 43rd Anniversary Trivia Contest.
was, yeah.
So that gave us a little clue.
Yes,
Yeah.
that should have
Yeah.
tipped
And we
you
did
off.
get that one right.
You did get it right?
July of
Well, we figured
1982.
out how old Jimmy was.
Yeah.
How old
Or
is
no, that was another question.
Jimmy's
No,
71.
it's the same part of the question. It was
Jimmy
a
Spears
two-part
is
question, wasn't it?
71.
He'd be 71, maybe 72.
Yeah, he will be. He's 70. Yeah,
Yeah.
70 or 71?
70 now.
70.
Yeah,
Today.
70 now,
Okay.
yeah.
So it would be 71.
Anyway.
Okay, so you got that one right.
We got that one right. What was the original name of Jimmy's Bar? Well, you won't get it. I don't think any of our viewers or listeners.
Barnacles
would-
Billy.
No.
What did we guess? We guessed
We were
Farmington Road Bar or something like
yes.
that. Anyway,
Yeah.
the correct answer was Pleasant Valley Bar.
Well, I don't
At
remember
one
that.
time, I guess
wait
that
a
area
minute.
was called Pleasant Valley because
It
there was
was.
a Pleasant Valley School.
Well, there's no Pleasant Valley. Well, then there's a second Pleasant Valley because there's, you know, where used to be the Neil Norton Cadillac dealer.
Yes,
Right.
mhm.
That little road that goes
Yeah.
from, like, I guess.
Well, that's where your studio used to be.
Yeah, right.
Meadow.
Like W-
Well,
Well,
no, Meadowbrook.
Pleasant Valley Tap.
Meadowbrook
Pleasant
Road.
Valley Tap.
Pleasant Valley Tap.
Yes, that was in, no, that's Hidden Valley.
It was Hidden Valley Tap.
Oh, is that Hidden Valley?
Yeah, Hidden Valley. They have a volleyball court. You
Yeah.
remember they
Oh,
done
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
Sean
Yeah.
Kenny
Yeah.
bought that.
Sean's running that now.
Yeah.
Boy, you guys know all the bar owners.
Well, they know the bar.
That's because we can't go in anymore.
You've got restraining orders from all of them.
Yeah, my, you know, I had some people who were spying on the team that I don't know whether you represented. I hope you didn't, but represented the show or not. But
Well, there was
we didn't
I understand you were done in by the alcoholic drinks that you had to identify.
No.
That's what I was.
I
told.
probably ordered fewer alcoholic drinks at our table than any of the
Then
tables.
one person in there,
No,
right?
I don't mean what you drink. That weren't there questions about certain drinks
Yes.
that you flunked?
Yeah, what's the Jameson is the #1 imported Irish whiskey brand.
Right, you
What
didn't
is
get that.
No,
the
that's not the question.
Give me a chance to give you a question.
Well, I want to interrupt you the way Terry interrupts me.
The question was, what was the #2 Irish whiskey brand that's imported into the United States? The number
Tullamore Dew.
2. Why weren't you with us?
Yeah, where were you?
That is correct.
Well,
Tullamore Dew.
he's the recruiter. Look at him.
No,
he's the one that recruited you bozos.
I got
Next
the wrong,
year we-
evidently got the wrong team.
44th anniversary trivia question. We got to have Mike with us.
No
Yeah.
kidding.
Well, I thought with
What were the other
Terry,
quiz questions?
Terry Chamberlain, she used to be a bartender, and I thought that was your backup for your drink.
She did
No,
have a
stumped her.
couple of, I think, ideas on that
Snorts?
one, but they were all wrong.
They were, yeah, we had to carry her out of the place. But
So, how many teams were there? And let's be honest, we want to be transparent,
Well,
like Pam
14.
Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard. We don't want to be like
I think there were
Obama.
12 or 14.
14.
Was there?
14
Okay,
teams.
14.
Oh, wow.
14 teams.
yeah, it was
14
pretty
teams.
Oh
close.
my goodness! And you
Yeah.
finished 13th.
Well,
12 to
somewhere
13,
around
somewhere,
there, yeah,
somewhere in that
so-
range.
so-
Mike, do you detect a little cover up here?
Well, I mean, I think there may be just a tiny shade of embarrassment.
I don't think it's a tiny share. I think I heard him say, "We'll win this. We'll win this."
I
The
thought
day
we would
before,
win. Because of who I recruited, not
Yeah,
because of me.
You know, I
No,
think
because of
between
you.
Terry and the two Terrys and myself, we thought we had a pretty good
lineup, yeah.
Yeah, we did. We
But the
did.
questions were all areas that
It was local
you know,
stuff.
Well, you're a teetotaler, so what do you know
Yeah,
about
what do I know
Irish?
about
yeah.
whiskey
Irish
and
stuff.
Jimmy's? I've been to Jimmy's bar. I think this is maybe the third time in my life I've been there, and the other two
Well,
were
you
just
need to go more often.
the other two were just because I was invited to a party or something there.
No, I mean, at least I have a little history with Jimmy.
Yes, you do.
We went to school together, and we
You and
wrestled.
Jimmy Spears?
Yeah, we were on the wrestling team together.
Really?
Yeah. It was one of the fun things was, Mr. Spears, his dad, was a huge wrestling fan. And my mom, of course, like all of Peoria, everybody knows everybody else.
Plus, she had to wrestle with 10 kids.
Yeah, well, that was easy for her. But she knew Mr. Spears from high school. Well, Mr. Spears would be sitting there, yelling out wrestling moves, throw in the Turk's ride, outside cradle, shoot the takedown.
Outside
And my mom would
cradle.
sit there watching him, because Jimmy wrestled a couple of weight classes before me. So Jimmy would wrestle first, and I'd wrestle later. Well, my mom, after hearing Mr. Spears yell all these words of encouragement and shouting out wrestling moves that he might try, my mom tried doing the same thing with less than stellar results. Because for instance, there's a wrestling move called a chicken wing.
Okay.
My mom got it half right because she's sitting there on the side of the gym screaming, "Throw in the chicken leg!" And she couldn't have been more sincere. And
Well, I'm sure.
of all the people, you wear these kidney-shaped, ear
Things to
protectors.
protect your ears.
Now, you can't
By the
hear
way, it
anything.
didn't seem to work for your ears.
No, well,
No, yeah.
what can I say? At least my ears are only here to keep my glasses on. But you can't hear anything in them. I could hear my mother clear as if I had a
As
phone.
if she were in the same booth. The interesting how you throw out those terms, because I did a little wrestling in class at Woodruff High School as a student, and I remember my first match was against a talented athlete who was a dear friend of mine, Arnold Boych, Fritz Boych. Pinned me in 12 seconds.
Ooh.
I said, "What kind, at least get a minute in, okay,
Yeah.
pal, for that matter." But the two terms I heard back then were half Nelson and full Nelson.
Yeah.
And that was it. You come up with chicken legs and
Yeah,
duck
that's
wings.
amazing. I didn't know there was
I never heard of.
I didn't know there was that
I
many,
didn't either.
names for
there's a
moves.
whole plethora of different wrestling moves that you can try.
Really?
We had the coaches we had. My freshman and sophomore year, I to this day still admire those two men greatly. The coach we had my junior and senior year, not so much, but it was a fun sport. And now, I mean, there are just so many. There are more moves even now than there were back then, which I kind of thought, what, did they grow new human parts that you can grab now, or,
I
or
don't know.
what?
Here's a question
didn't know
for you, a
any of that
trivia
stuff.
question. What team, particularly in the Big Ten, is best known for winning wrestling titles?
Oh, Iowa.
Iowa, University of Iowa.
Yeah,
Correct.
Hawkeyes.
Yeah, that's the famous Dan Gable came
Dan
out
Gable.
of there, and
Yeah, he went on
created
to
a dynasty.
Olympics fame.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
he not? For
I
that
never
matter?
wrestled. I dated a lot in high school. The only move I knew was the horizontal rumba. That's
You'd be amazed what the full Nelson will do for you, though.
yeah.
That's it. Anyway, well, let's get into the news. A lot of breaking news taking place. A lot of big stories that the local left-wing newscasters did not touch with the 10-foot pole, but we will. So let's get into it this morning. Let's start with the weather. A service of Kyle Barnold of Fortner Insurance. Kyle, of course, you know, is an insurance professional. He can take a look at the coverages you're having to make sure you're getting what you're paying for home, auto, life, and health insurance. And you can reach Kyle today at 309-682-0519 for a free kind of assessment of your insurance coverages. And I might add, he will join us a little later on this morning to talk about the heat wave and what is going on. In the meantime, what are you pointing at?
Well, I was pointing at your microphone. Is it on?
Yes.
Oh.
Right here.
Oh,
see,
it's that one. Okay.
Yes, this button is go. See, we're
I know
color
you.
coordinated
Did you unhook
to
my?
help you out.
No, you, Gene. You unhooked my headset. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what it was.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, right there.
There's
Oh,
too many
there.
wires
See, that's what it
hanging
was.
down
Gene
here.
did it.
Yes.
Gene did. I wasn't losing my mind. I just.
Yes. Well, it's very
Maybe I
important
was.
that you hear yourself.
Well, I can't.
Since we get to hear you, it's important that you can hear yourself.
Well, I got in the habit, and it's just. But anyway,
Yes, you want to go ahead and do it?
That weather?
And we will listen to
I
it.
don't know that weather.
Yeah, it is
just
bad.
muggy, sticky, icky. We're under another heat advisor until 7 p.m. this evening. Otherwise, another sunny and really hot day. High 94. That's going to put a heat index around 107. There's a slight possibility for showers. If we don't get any rain today, expect some tonight, and a low of about 75. Tomorrow, cloudy and not as hot. Only 88. Good chance for rain tomorrow and tomorrow night. Saturday, sunny and hot, high 92. 50% chance for rain Sunday, 94. And next week, the high will be 95 on Tuesday. So
We
it
can't
doesn't
get
look-
rid of it, can
I
we?
thought we were going to get some relief, but I guess not for a little while. Right now, it's 77 degrees.
Now the news this morning brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. They've been around helping folks since 1993. You can get in touch with them 24/7. They're available at any time of the day or night. Spoon River Home Health, and their phone number 309-245-0723. Here's Mike Dentino.
Thanks, Roger. Well, things are hot, not only in Illinois, but in the nation's capital as well, and we're not talking about the weather. The Director of Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has released some 100 documents implicating, she says, former President Barack Obama in the plot to discredit Donald Trump. With the help of whistleblowers, Gabbard said the documents clearly show Obama ignored warnings, so-called evidence connecting Trump with Russian President Putin were false. Gabbard said Obama suggested creating their own evidence, and that apparently included the Steele dossier, which proved to be a complete hoax.
A skeptical White House News Corps questioned Gabbard's bombshell report and also challenged comments from White House spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt. She said many in the press room were among those who promoted the false Russia narrative for 4 years. When asked by a reporter from NBC if Gabbard was accusing Obama of treason, she said the Department of Justice will decide criminal implications. One thing is clear, said the former Democrat legislator from Hawaii, Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election on behalf of Donald Trump.
Gabbard also took to task former intelligence officials John Brennan and John Clapper, Andrew McCabe of the FBI, Susan Rice, and others who were named in the now declassified documents. The Director of Intelligence said a criminal referral has been sent to the Department of Justice, but did not provide any other details.
Columbia University admits it has done a very poor job of protecting its Jewish students, but denies any wrongdoing. However, they coughed up $221 million in settling a lawsuit against the school for alleged discriminatory practices. The White House called it the largest anti-Semitism settlement in U.S. history. Columbia school officials have agreed to reform.
In the latest media ratings, Fox News has more than 2 million viewers over CNN. Fox even beat NBC, ABC, and CBS. CNN averaged less than 500,000 viewers and was so bad that more people watched the Home and Garden Network. Well, you know,
Hey, don't knock home
a
and garden.
good garden's a very important component to
absolutely,
well-being.
yeah.
Well, CNN did beat Breakfast with Roger and Friends, but you know,
But we're
hey,
on the way up.
we have a much smaller broadcast range.
You got that right.
Yeah, so
We're not heard or seen in airports
well, we're
in Iran.
we're barely heard or seen in our airport.
In local news, there was a near tragedy in a grain bin in Fulton County. Fulton County authorities saying 85-year-old man was buried by grain up to his neck when rescuers arrived on the scene in the area of Marietta, Illinois. Population of about 100 folks. Have no idea where that is. The victim was flown to OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Another worker was also in the grain elevator, but he was unharmed.
I think most people don't really realize how dangerous
They are
those
dangerous.
Well, it's
You
only
know
when
when
they're running, though, right? Is what they understand. It's only if they're running.
Well, yeah,
if they're
I
taking
mean,
grain out or
that's
putting it
when
in.
it's at its most dangerous. But you know, it's not just being buried inside of pile of corn or wheat.
It's the air.
It's the air and the possibility of
dust.
explosion.
Oh, you're right.
yeah.
When I read this story and wrote it, I am reminded of what movie?
Oh,
Witness.
Witness
Yeah.
is correct. That was a great ending, wasn't it? Really? When,
Oh, yeah.
It was. What was the actor's name?
Harrison Ford or
Yeah, Harrison Ford
a grain
was struggling to get
bin
the
scene,
shotgun.
yeah, near the end where the villain opens some chute and starts filling up a grain bin, and it's going to bury him, and somehow he gets out.
All right, question
I
number
never
2.
saw it.
What song was playing when he was in the upper level of a barn and he got the radio working on the car and the song was playing? I think Lou Rawls may have made that song.
Roger,
popular.
you're talking to 2/3 of a failed trivia team here.
Well, what I'm trying to do is let people know you're not as dumb as you guys
Okay.
show.
Well, then you should give
No,
us the
that's
answers
that's,
off the-
that's harsh. I'm sorry, Lord. They're not. They were misinformed.
We were misinformed. We weren't
Well,
dumb.
moving
Do you
right
remember
along.
what? Yes,
All right.
go ahead
No,
with
the
the
song.
stories.
What was the song? I didn't see the movie. I don't know.
oh well, in police
Do you
news,
know the answer to
No.
that? Oh.
28-year-old.
You don't know the answer?
No, I don't know.
So then you would have fit right in with our team, Roger.
There you go.
You'd have been real
I'm glad
comfortable.
Jeez.
Yes, you would do the news.
Yeah,
Oh,
we'll finish
jeez.
this up eventually.
Okay, all right.
28-year-old Dracar Munoz is going to prison for 30 years. That was the sentence of Judge Steve Corey delivered to Munoz after he was found guilty of armed robbery and aggravated battery in an incident in 2023 at Parkwood Commons apartment on Great Oak Road.
Yep, he only served 16 years.
Well, 16 years is still
Yeah,
a
it's
long
still
time.
a long time.
Yeah, but they dropped the murder charge. Was that?
Yeah, I think so.
They convicted him of 2 things. He got a 20-year sentence and a 10-year sentence to run concurrently.
Concurrently, yes.
And so he'll.
Does that mean at the same time?
I don't know.
Yes.
Well, no, concurrently, yeah,
Yes,
concurrently
it
means
is.
at the same time.
Why
But
don't they just say that?
if he got 2 separate
Well, because
sentences,
it's a bigger word. You can charge more money.
Well, that's true. Lawyers do charge by
Yeah.
the word. But yeah, I mean, they'd have to be consecutive sentences if he's got 30 years on a 20 and a 10-year sentence.
Well, they said they were together. That'd be concurrent,
Yeah,
right?
they're
That'd be concurrent, but then
yeah.
he'd only serve 20 years. not
Yeah,
30.
right.
He's
That's
only
right.
going to serve about 16, they
Oh,
said.
okay.
With
Well,
time,
with time served.
With time served, yeah. Yeah.
Which
Okay.
means he's been behind bars all this time.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
which now is unusual in Illinois.
Yeah.
I'm going to rule you over. I'm going to overrule you.
For what?
Moving on.
Oh, you want me to move on? Okay. Well, Great Oak, by the way, did we talk about Great Oak?
Not
I guess
yet.
we did a long time ago. Yeah, Great Oak Road. That's where the guy was. It isn't far from the Kroger store on Sterling at Forest Hill. That's scheduled to close next month. The store officials couldn't wait. Unsuspecting customers learned the doors closed yesterday. It's gone. It's history. The closest grocery store for that part of the city is Aldi's, on North University.
And the positive news in that story, and there is a positive, closing the store has put an end to shoplifting.
Well, I guess if you
Well,
want
you
to say
got to
that's
go
a
farther to
positive.
shoplift now.
Why they? Yeah, you just got to travel.
You got to take a
farther.
bus.
I never thought of it that way. Good. And now shoplifters will have to move over to Aldi's on
Right.
University.
Well,
I don't know.
I mean,
That's too bad. They closed down
it is.
because pilferage, I think they call that in the business.
You know, I don't know if the three of you who are well known in Peoria, and if you recall, there was a famous shoplifting incident at Kroger's when I think Kroger's originally was on Sterling Avenue across from the Wardcliffe Shopping Center, and then it moved over to where Big Lots was took the place. A well-known person, and I'm not going to mention who it was, but a well-known person got caught with a frozen fish in his coat pocket one winter that he had shoplifted.
I don't
You
know.
don't
It doesn't
recall
ring
the
a bell.
I remember the incident. I can't think
Yeah.
of who it is right now.
I will just tell you, he was a well-known musician who played in the Peoria Symphony Orchestra.
Really?
Yes, and also.
And he threw a
clue
carp at
number
his
two-
pants?
Clue number 2 is he was affiliated with a institution of higher learning. And I'll leave it at, don't shout out the name, okay? I don't want to get sued.
Oh, he's still
Even though
around?
it was-
Is he still living?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think so.
Well, you have to tell us all off the air.
Off the air, we will.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other news?
Well, somebody could send us in-
That would
gossip?
be it for, that was it for this hour.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it for now.
All right, let's move on to news from WCBU.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. The city of Peoria and Peoria County are getting close to $1.4 million in state funding to put toward the Greater Peoria Auto Crimes Task Force. The continuation grant was originally awarded by the state in 2023 to form the multi-jurisdictional investigative and prosecutorial unit. Peoria Police Chief Eric Echevarria says the task force is producing results.
Our motor vehicle thefts have gone down by almost 50% since from 2024 to 25.
The city council voted unanimously to accept this year's award. A 48-year-old Pekin woman has been arrested for allegedly attempting to have someone killed. Pekin police say Allison Salinas was taken into custody Tuesday following a 2-week investigation into a solicitation of murder. Pekin Police Chief Seth Ranney says his department worked with other agencies on the case, including the FBI's Springfield office. The case has been turned over to the state's attorney's office. Central Illinois Congressman Eric Sorensen is calling for an investigation into the government's response to the floods in Texas that killed more than 130 people.
I do have questions as to how there was such a gap between the dire reports that they were giving out and then those folks, and especially those children who died. Why didn't it make it to them?
Sorensen says he wants to know if staff shortages, stalled forecasting improvements, or a lack of flood preparedness may have contributed to the deaths. And a team of Washington city leaders will assist a hired consultant in recruiting a new city administrator. The city council this week approved the plan to have 2 administrative staffers and Mayor Lilia Stevens work in conjunction with Jim Arndt of Arndt Municipal Support to save $4,000 on the contract. 2 members voted against the proposal, saying the savings weren't enough and the staff may have a bias toward an internal candidate. Alderperson Bobby Martin III said that was an unprofessional assumption.
Everything in here that I see that we'd have Team Washington do, I would have assumed we would have done anyway.
The team's duties will include developing promotional recruitment materials and performing routine social media searches of candidates. I'm Ben Howell.
Thank you, Ben. And let's get the latest from the world of sports, brought to you by BradleyFans.com. Dr. Gene Sidler. Good morning, Gino.
Good morning, and thank you for the plug there, Roger. Not a lot going on with Bradley basketball,
But it's getting there.
Still occasionally some recruiting. Oh yeah, we have some breaking news about the schedule. A couple of new teams that we know are on Bradley's non-conference early season schedule, so check that out. Baseball yesterday, the Chicago Cubs lost to the Kansas City Royals 8-4 yesterday afternoon. The Cubs ended up losing 2 out of 3 to the Royals in that series. Their record now is 60-42. Milwaukee Brewers won yesterday, beating the Mariners 10-2, so the Cubs are back in second place now, half a game back of the Brewers. Cubs are off today. They'll start a series on Friday with the White Sox in Chicago. And the St. Louis Cardinals lost to the Colorado Rockies 6-0. Their woes continue. They've lost 2 out of 3 to the woeful Rockies, but they've also lost 5 of their last 6 and dropped 9 games now out of first place in that National League Central. Cardinals head back home tonight to play the first of a 4-game series against the San Diego Padres. And the Chicago White Sox won last night, beating the Tampa Bay Rays 11-9. Hey, look out for them White Sox.
Yeah, who's the worst now? White Sox, Colorado?
Oh, Colorado is much worse.
Much worse, okay.
At least 10 games worse, yeah. White Sox have won 2 out of 3 from the Rays in this series, but they've won 5 out of 6 since the All-Star break. And they've scored 49 runs in their last 6 games, really putting on an offensive display. Previous to this, they were the team with the worst offense in the major leagues, with the fewest runs, fewest hits, all the offensive categories. Anyway, they're off today, and they'll host the Cubs for the weekend series starting Friday night. Major League Baseball trade deadline is 1 week from today, next Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. There's a number of teams still competing for playoff spots, so expect there to be quite a bit of trade activity over this next week. Peoria Chiefs lost last night to West Michigan Whitecaps 9-4. The Chiefs just 11-15 in the second half of the season, still sitting in 5th place in that Western Division of the Midwest League. That series with the Whitecaps here in Peoria continues through Sunday. The Tour de France is wrapping up this weekend. Last year's winner, Tadej Pogačar, is the leader still. He continues to lead the overall race now by over 4 minutes over second-place rider, 2-time winner Jonas Vingegaard of Denmark. There are 4 more stages to go, including stage 18 today that is continuing in the French Alps. Beautiful area.
That's a lot, isn't it? 4 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
That's a ton.
That's a lot.
Because as fast
He would
as they're
have
riding,
to.
he's like a couple miles away or something.
He would have to have a fall or an accident or something really major to lose.
We
this
can
race
arrange
now.
that.
Yeah. Well. And
bet on the other guy?
a bit of good news here from the U.S. Olympic Committee. This week they've updated their policies and they have banned transgender women from competing in women's sports in line with the presidential
Is
election.
that how you're supposed to say that, rather than
Executive order.
ban men from competing as
Roger,
women?
I said it the politically correct
Oh,
way.
okay, all right.
So
what I like
was
about
trying
you.
not
have to be-
You go
to
by the book.
offend anybody.
Oh,
Now, the
that's
inter-
not possible.
Now, the International
Yeah.
Olympic Committee, however, kind of just threw their hands up and said, hey, we don't want no part of this. They said that it will be up to each individual sports governing body to determine the rules of competition.
In other words, like if France wants to,
No, not by country,
not
but
by
by
country.
sport. So the International Track and Field Organization is one of the 3 that have ruled out transgender women.
I see.
Cycling and swimming, the 3 that have so far stepped up and said that any athlete born male and who went through male puberty is not eligible to compete in women's sports. Other sports are considering eligibility rules, and more will probably follow in line, but as of now, it's just those
how about
3.
boxing? You know, if you want to see the difference between
Right.
men and women, that's a sport that should say, hey, you can't have a man
Right.
hitting the crap out of, you
Was
know,
it the Turkish boxer that had a transgender
I believe it was
female?
Tunisian or Algerian. He was Algerian.
Was he Algerian?
Yeah.
Okay.
he beat the crap out of this
Right, yeah.
woman, and she yelled foul, and then later on she recanted her objection. So obviously they came
Well,
across
that
with
was Khalif, Ahmed Khalif, I think was his name. and I do use the pronoun his, because he has been proven to be an XY chromosomal male. He had previously claimed to be born female. Remember, the rules back in the 2024 Olympics were that anybody who claims to be female can participate as a
Right.
female. So basically, they didn't really have. I guess as long as the testosterone level was below a certain maximum allowable, and he qualified that way. But now he would not qualify because he would fall under. Well, again, the boxing organizations, the International Boxing Commission, whoever governs amateur boxing, hasn't ruled on this yet, but hopefully they will. But yes, he should probably have that medal revoked because he has been proven now to be an XY male.
Now,
which
wait a
he claimed
minute.
he wasn't.
Help me understand that. You know, I did have a health class when I was in Woodruff. This chromosome X and so forth. If he's got a penis, he's a man.
Well, no,
There are
It's as
some
simple as that.
abnormalities.
there are some things.
Well,
that
I
happen.
know that. I've heard
mutations
that
and
my
so
whole
forth.
life.
Yeah.
But yeah, male and female is governed by chromosomes, and the males on the 23rd chromosome, we have 23 pairs of chromosomes, 46
I
total.
only have one
On the
pair.
23rd
What you're
pair of
talking about.
chromosomes,
No, Roger, no, we're not talking.
the males have one X chromosome and one Y chromosome, and females have two X chromosomes, and that pretty much governs all of the sexual characteristics that develop both in uterus and as we grow and go through puberty. And so, yes, he was a biological male, even though he fought as a female. There was another.
Well, he didn't fight. He fought
I
as a
think,
guy. He didn't
from-
fight as a
from
female.
Yeah.
South Korea or some other country.
anyway.
There was another one that won a gold medal who was a biologic male. So hopefully that'll get sorted out.
Well, let me help you out a little bit. And for all three of you, and any of our listeners are welcome to join in the chat room, and that is, what would be the difference in the pain level of hitting a transgender male in the groin? You know, that has happened in boxing matches where a guy hits below the belt.
Right.
And a female boxer, is the pain threshold the same as hitting a guy in the groin with, well, you know,
if you're
there's-
talking about a direct blow to the
groin,
testicles,
no, to the groin, just
Well,
call it the groin
well,
area.
you,
let's
you
call it
can be
what
hit
it
in the
is. It's
groin and
testicles.
not have that much pain
Yeah.
if you just don't make direct
Your
contact
groin's a
with
larger area
the
than
testicles.
testicles.
Well, when you get penalized in the
Testicles are
boxing
highly
match,
sensitive
you
to
don't
pain.
have to hit the testicles if you hit in the groin area or below the waist of a boxer's
Well, but one's
Yeah.
going to take you down, and one's going to, you can.
maim you for the rest of your life.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, one's going to make
Well-
you sing soprano.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
that-
or at least take it.
I could see I made a mistake. This conversation is going south.
Yes. It started south and went down to the kneecaps.
Yeah. Did we get an answer on that medically? All right.
I could expound, but let's just move on.
Okay. Let's move. Okay. Thanks.
We'll show you next hour. We'll show you. Tune in.
Who's the volunteer?
Interestingly, our news at the bottom of the hour brought to you by Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. Those folks, the great people, the paramedics, EMTs, they've been around taking care of people since 1991. And good tagline for AMT, when seconds count, you can count on Advanced Medical Transport of Central Illinois. Mike, how about a look at our headlines?
Okie doke, Roger. Well, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has released some 100 documents implicating former President Barack Obama in the plot to discredit Donald Trump. With the help of whistleblowers, Gabbard said the documents clearly show Obama ignored warnings of so-called evidence connecting Trump with Russian President Putin were false. Gabbard said Obama suggested that creating their own evidence and that apparently included a Steele dossier which provided to be a complete hoax. White House news reporters questioned Gabbard's bombshell report and challenged comments from the White House spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt. She said many in the press room were among those who promoted the false Russian narrative for 4 years. When asked by a reporter from NBC if Gabbard was accusing Obama of treason, she said the Department of Justice will decide criminal implications. One thing is clear, said former Democrat legislator from Hawaii, Russia did not interfere with the 2016 election on behalf of Donald Trump. Gabbard also took to task former intelligence officials John Brennan and James Clapper, Andrew McCabe of the FBI, Susan Rice, and others who were named in the now declassified documents. Director of Intelligence said that a criminal referral has been sent to the Department of Justice but did not provide any other details. Columbia University admits that it has done a poor job protecting its Jewish students, but denies any wrongdoing. However, they did cough up $221 million in settling a lawsuit against the school for alleged discriminatory practices. The White House called it the largest anti-Semitism settlement in U.S. history. In the latest media ratings, Fox News has more than 2 million viewers over CNN. Fox even beat NBC, ABC, and CBS. CNN averaged less than 500,000 viewers and was so bad that more people watched the Home and Garden Network. In local news, there was a near tragedy in a grain elevator in Fulton County. Fulton County officials say that an 85-year-old man was buried by a grain up to his neck when rescuers arrived on the scene in the area of Marietta, Illinois. Population about 100. The victim was flown to OSF St. Francis Medical Center, and another worker was also in the grain elevator but was unharmed. In police news, 28-year-old Dracar Munoz is going to prison for 30 years. That was the sentence of Judge Steve Corey. He delivered to Munoz after he was found guilty of armed robbery and aggravated battery in an incident in 2023 at Parkwood Commons Apartments on Great Oak Road. Great Oak Road, by the way, is not far from the Kroger store on Sterling at Forest Hill. It's scheduled to close next month. The store officials couldn't wait, though. Unsuspecting customers learned the store closed its doors yesterday. It's gone. The closest grocery store for that part of the city is now Aldi's on North University. And Roger, that's it for news at the bottom of the hour.
All right, thank you, Mike. Now a check of the weather, and it's brought to you by It Plays Media Group, featuring audio and video services and graphic design. You can learn more from the folks at It Plays at 309-550-4708.
We're under a heat advisory until 7 o'clock tonight, Roger. Otherwise, another sunny and hot day, high 94. Heat index around 107. Slight possibility of showers. If we don't get any rain today, expect some tonight, and a low of about 75, which will seem a little bit chilly. Tomorrow, cloudy and not as hot, high 88. Good chance for rain, though, tomorrow and tomorrow night. Saturday, Sunday, it'll be hot in the 90s again with about 50% chance for rain. Right now, it's a muggy, wet, damp, crazy, humid, hard to breathe.
Humid. Throw in that.
A lot of humidity out there. 77 right now, Roger.
You got it. You remember back, maybe you don't, not old enough, in the 1940s, where did a lot of people go to beat the heat?
The park.
Parks.
That was one place.
Their front porch.
To the fire escape.
Yeah, the fires. No, the movie theaters.
The high-rise.
You know, the movie
tenement
theaters
buildings.
used to have banners hanging from the marquee.
When
Cool
did
inside.
they get air conditioning in movie theaters?
I don't know that, but they had it in the 40s because I remember, I think it was,
40s?
yes.
Really?
In
Wow.
the Madison Theater, they had a banner, and it showed icicles or snowflakes, or well, to give you the feeling like, hey, and so people did go to theaters. Killing two birds with one stone, seeing some good movies, and they did make great movies back then.
Sure.
And cooling off. And
Yeah, they advertised that they were air conditioned.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I wasn't around, but I remember that they used to do that. Yes.
Yeah, and I remember there used to be somewhat of a good-natured debate among people about which theater was the most beautiful, the Palace or the Madison.
Whew. It's been a long time since I was in either one of those.
Well, I remember watching a movie in the Palace Theater. We were upstairs in the balcony, and I happened to look up at the roof, and they had subtle lighting. The difference today
Right.
between the movie theaters, you go into a cracker box, literally, today with the movie houses. Back then, the ornate architecture inside, and they had subtle lighting on the side and the ceilings. I mean, it's a tragedy we let. I understand the Palace Theater and the Rialto had to go to make way for the Civic Center, and that was a good trade-off. But boy, the owners
Well, the
let
new
the
ones they
Madison
built
Theater
weren't
go
anything
to
like
pot.
that. Landmark didn't look anything like
Oh
that.
no, not at all.
And you remember the one at it was for Knoxville and McClure.
The Beverly.
Beverly, yeah.
Right.
And that was a beautiful small
So
theater
nice looking
as well.
place. And
Yeah.
that one on Main Street
Was
that,
Varsity.
that Tom
yeah.
Leiter has now. The Apollo.
Or the Apollo Theater, yeah, okay. I
It's
was
pretty-
thinking
it's
of the
pretty nice
Varsity up
looking.
by Bradley.
The
Well,
Apollo's a
but
really
it's
nice
different.
looking
But
place.
it's different.
What wasn't a movie theater? That was a performing theater, I guess is what you would call it.
Yeah, I think so. Royce and your dad
Yeah.
and the Paul brothers put on a wonderful show that I got to MC in the Apollo Theater. And you had to climb stairs. It didn't have a elevator. I don't
Right.
think any theater did, for that matter. And it's fallen on hard times, unfortunately.
It's in bad shape, and he doesn't want to put the money in it.
No, and that's what they're doing about the
bad
Chase
roof
building as well, due to water damage from flooding. So
Yeah.
you would think they had an alarm system in that building, but apparently they didn't.
Well, it's part of the problem is that you don't have. I don't know if you've got too many venues for live entertainment in Peoria, or if they're just not promoted well. But it's hard to. I mean, look at all the money.
There's
that,
too much of a competition.
well,
It's
yeah,
all
I mean,
over the place.
Staff put a mountain of money in the Scottish Rite Theater.
Yes, he did.
And nothing is going on there, and it's a beautiful space.
It's a beautiful venue for
The
entertainment.
3300 Event Center, the old Poison Apple, that's open
yeah,
again.
yeah.
Is
It's,
that
it's a
right?
nice little venue.
What
yeah.
was the other one in the Pioneer Park?
Oh, that was
Lamplighter or something?
Limelight.
Limelight, yeah, that was just a big warehouse building.
Yeah.
That was just a.
But the problem is
But
we
it's-
don't have for some reason Peoria doesn't have the draw. I don't know if it's that we don't have promoters.
We don't have people here, Mike. We
Well,
have a
there is
lot of
that.
people left.
Yes, there is that. There's
We
no
don't
people.
have-
There's no money. There's
Yeah.
no interest.
Yeah. But besides that,
Besides that, I mean,
Otherwise, it's a good environment.
otherwise,
but it's just unfortunate that
Yeah, it
we
is.
can't attract. Bloomington seems to do a bang up job attracting road shows and whatnot coming through. And I mean, there's Broadway Theater League, and they bring
in the Civic
there's a lot of
Center,
stuff
yeah.
that comes into the Civic Center, but these smaller venues, getting back to Kim Blickenstaff, he had wonderful plans or ideas, I guess is probably
And
better.
hopes.
And hopes. He bought the old armory. That's still,
I could have prevented that sale if he'd just talked to me about that. That place is a dump.
that building was rough.
Well, I tell you what. Once you go on the other side of I-74 from downtown,
Yeah,
it's a wasteland.
Yeah.
I won't say nothing can survive there, but so far nothing has.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know what it is. It's like there's a magical barrier once you get across the highway.
They're
And-
still struggling with the Mark Twain, on the other side
Well, yeah.
as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
You know, he built a
Do you know
beautiful.
that the Scottish Rite Cathedral is operating now?
Well-
it has.
Oh, it is?
It has a, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
but it's not- I don't know.
They've got a list of
Events?
events.
What's coming up though?
Who owns
Well,
it?
August 1st, Laura Jane Grace and Band. August 6th, the Wallflowers. That's a
Oh.
I mean,
That's a fairly prominent,
maybe
rock
I'm
and roll
just
band.
completely out of the loop, but yeah, I mean, you've got the Wallflowers, you got the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Well, that's a tribute
Oh,
band.
well, tribute.
Well,
And
that's
we got
good.
a Led Zeppelin tribute band coming up.
Yeah, we'll see how ticket sales are. I mean, it's.
I mean,
it's
you know,
tough.
you're not going to get Taylor Swift into the
No.
Scottish Rite Cathedral, but there's a long list of events
Who owns
coming
it
up there.
now?
Well,
he sold
it's
it.
got a new name. It's called the Temple Live Scottish Rite
Okay.
Theater.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
who-
know that
I don't know what Temple Live is.
I don't know if I don't think he sold it, but I think he worked out some management or some lease deal with somebody to take it
be.
over.
That's now the name of it, the Temple Live Scottish Rite
I don't think
Theater.
it was sold, but I
Well,
don't know for sure.
I think that's all tied up in bankruptcy. Just recently they've reopened the.
He filed bankruptcy.
Well, I don't know if he filed bankruptcy, but there seemed to be dissent among the partners.
Well,
at least for the Sandcody Lakes operation.
well, that was with the guy that he was.
That's where Ray Faber, I believe, the state is
Okay.
involved in that
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
well.
because
And
they
who's
Because
out
they
there?
were going to move Ray Faber's museum of automobiles out there and have
Okay.
the museum on the Sandcody. I do believe that's in litigation.
well, that's just reopened.
It did reopen?
Yeah.
I don't know that the campground reopened, but they reopened the restaurant.
I didn't know.
just,
Yeah,
like
they did have a
recently,
restaurant
like
there,
a
didn't
week
they?
or two ago. Just
Yeah.
I mean, just recently.
Have
it's
you
been
have
reopened.
you and your wife tried the food there?
No, I mean, I actually stopped in a couple days ago because I saw a sign that indicated that the restaurant was either open or going to be open, and the guy at the guard shack told me that yeah, they're revamping the website and that the restaurant was indeed open now. So
Who's the neighbor? The neighboring property was also kind of a partner.
Yeah.
I want not Ashelman, but
yeah,
oh, who is that?
I
And there's a
don't know.
problem there
With
also.
there as well.
Yeah.
They are renting the cabins again.
okay.
And
There's just something about the
this
environment
says
that
coming
makes
soon,
it
but maybe
difficult
it's
to
open
sell.
now.
I like the concept. It would have gone over quite well in Wisconsin and Michigan,
Right.
But Spring Bay,
Well,
and doesn't have the foliage, the forestry, the trees, and the atmosphere
no. Well,
for
plus
camping.
the faux trout stream that they had, I think the way it was set up and the way that the way it would cost you to fish in there was a complete turnoff, at least for me.
Well, they had some pretty good sized trout. I
Well,
can
they
tell you that.
did, but
How they
I've
keep it cool though?
because they're constantly pumping water out of the aquifer,
Okay,
and
going through Peoria Ice Company.
that may have been that too. I think they had an ice machine next to the stream. They kept throwing in
Yeah,
bags.
because you got to have
periodically.
cold water to keep trout alive.
Yeah, well, I mean, at least to keep them happy. That's for sure.
Well, you keep them happy by not catching them.
Well, there is that too.
But you know what happened to Kim? Seemed to be a pretty sharp businessman, certainly in real estate, because he made a fortune in California. But to come,
He didn't make it in real estate though.
He didn't.
No,
I
it was
thought he
medical
did
devices.
development.
Medical devices.
Yeah.
Is that what it was? Okay. Well, at any rate, he might have been a star at that, but boy, every decision that he made was bad. Like he bought the church on the corner of High Street and Main.
Main, yeah.
Okay. But he had to buy it. He got outbid or snookered by a couple from, the state of Washington and so forth. And he wanted it so bad he could taste it, and I guess paid them more than what they paid for it. And then he learned that there's no parking.
Well,
So what could you put on the corner? Because you had to have a certain amount of, so now it's an empty area.
Right.
So he lost money on that project. Then he bought the Armory, which I'm told structurally was reasonably sound, but had no roof, has
Right.
no roof. You can see as you come over the Murray Baker Bridge, the skeleton of the building, and it's in a neighborhood that's one of the largest crime areas or zones in the city of Peoria. That went belly up, and I think he had some very inept people managing the Scottish Rite Cathedral.
Could be. Well, I mean, a lot of it seemed to be like more of a pie in the sky. Oh,
Yes,
gee,
yeah.
you know. I mean, and I understand. I think he seemed to be very. I mean, I want to say, if I remember right, he's like from Peoria Heights or that area there. But he seemed to be wanted to be very involved with the community,
wanted-
and trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
do things. But I think some of the stuff that he picked up in an attempt to resurrect them, I should say, it was just a bridge too far.
Yeah, and a good example of that, there's one I didn't mention. What was the other pipe dream? And I was reasonably familiar with what used to be there.
Al Fresco.
Yeah. Frisco.
It was a
Frisco Beach. Al Frisco Beach.
Yeah, yeah.
And I drove by it when it was announced because I remember that's where the, what was the riverboat that partially sunk? Was it the Columbia?
Columbia, the Eastwood, or
No, I think it was the Columbia.
Yeah.
Well, it used to dock there and pick up people and go south on the Illinois River, and then it ran ashore and ripped a hole in the hull of the ship. My mother was on the Columbia, as a matter of fact. So when he came up with that idea, the resurrection, it was.
I think he was trying to be philanthropic with the
Right.
billions of dollars that he made, which was nice. Maybe he got some bad advice, and I think he got a lot of advice from a lot of different people, and he listened to everybody.
Right.
Paid a lot of money for things. He had a lot of money, so he paid it. The grocery store there in the Heights, he paid a lot more than what it was worth.
What
and,
was
and then
that?
they sold it. That Save-A-Lot, just across.
Oh, he
Right.
bought that?
He bought that
At the
from
railroad
it was
tracks,
Mike Landwehr's property and Russ Waldschmidt's. He paid a lot of money
too
for
much
that,
for it.
and then sold it for what he should have paid for it, which was about, well, the numbers don't make any difference, but
Well, it did to him.
well, yeah, I mean, he bought it for over $1 million, and it was worth about $650, and then held on to it for a couple of years and sold it for $650. So. Yeah, it's too bad.
Has he gone
but I think
back-
part of it was
Has
to
he
get
gone back to California?
He has, and there's some other issues there.
You remember the other pipe dream he had to build a something or another over I-74?
No.
No.
Yeah, he was going to build a park
over I-74.
over I-74.
Yeah, well,
Ah,
There was at one time, and this I can remember as far back as when I was in medical school, there was some grand idea of building
A bridge.
platform type bridge over I-74
Between the two hospitals.
between the two hospitals. Yes.
oh, really?
kind of like a greenway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that would be interesting, but I guess that, for me, it begs the question, how much foot traffic do you actually have between the two hospitals? I mean,
It's still.
You know what the primary activity is today between the two hospitals?
dying?
No, well, that too.
Yeah, I'm always an optimist.
Yes, you are. No, you'll see employees of the two hospitals who, yes, you're right, need to have a cigarette.
Yeah,
And,
well, that's true.
Sometimes you'll see them under I-74 puffing.
Well, they have to get completely off of the
They
property
can't be on
ground.
campus.
of both
Right.
hospitals now by state law, I believe. They have to.
Oh, really?
be
State
off of
law?
the
Oh, I didn't know
property.
that.
Well,
Wow.
I think that the state law requires them to be so many feet, like 50 feet or something, away from
From an
any
entrance,
entrance. But the hospitals have set the rule that they have to be off of hospital property.
And isn't it true that if you want to get rid of your smoking habit, you can be hypnotized?
That or cancer.
Yeah. Well, you guys are really morose this morning.
We're just little rays of
Just
sunshine.
trying to be honest.
I'll tell you what, I came in happy and now I'm depressed.
You might take up smoking. Yeah.
Yeah.
That or drinking at Jimmy's bar.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going down the hill very
Oh,
quickly
my.
for the
Hey, no better place to take up drinking
Yeah,
than Jimmy's
it
bar.
was-
than at
Wonderful.
Jimmy's
I
bar.
think-
If you want a
that would
Guinness,
be
he sells
true.
more Guinness than anybody in town, probably. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
if you want a
What
Guinness,
was it? Wasn't one of the questions on the trivia competition? what is the most popular beer?
I wish it was. We would have had one more right answer. But no, they didn't ask any questions about Guinness. did they?
Popular menu item. What's the most popular menu item
Well, there
on
was,
Jimmy's
yeah, there
Bar?
was- what did you think? Food item.
I'm
Remember,
gonna- I'm
food
gonna
item.
say
'Cause Guinness would have probably been the answer if it was.
I would
anything.
I would say tenderloin.
No.
That would have been a good guess. We guessed pub burger because it's the one at the top of the menu, but it was the Irish nachos. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody
When
eat it.
I told my wife that question, the first thing she said, "Well, it's the Irish nachos."
Really? She knew the menu?
She knew. She guessed the
Well,
nachos.
she's
She's
gonna-
been there like a couple
Well,
times.
Gene, you're out. She's coming next time.
I know. I know.
And did you get points for that then because of her answer?
No.
Oh no, this was after it
the
was
show.
done and I was at
well,
home.
that doesn't
I-
do you
I-
any good.
Yeah, no,
I thought
too
maybe
late.
that was the answer you got that kept you out of the cellar.
No. What was the one we did get right? Oh, we got the glabella. Remember, I told you that one.
And the age and
the what?
The age and how old was he
Yes.
when he started?
You did get that right.
I think
we
most
got
people
that
got
right.
that because
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
the
everybody
43rd
got it, yeah.
anniversary,
Yeah.
and so people could do a little subtraction. And
We
figure
knew
it
the
out.
math.
Did the announcer, the MC, whoever was kind of running the operation, at the end, did they announce, here's how the teams finished?
Yes, he went around each table.
Were you
scored-
guys
scored
still
their-
there when
scored
they
each-
announced, or did you slip out?
Yes, but
Yeah, we
nobody
were.
knew us.
No, nobody knows. Did you tell them our team name?
Oh, our team name, yes, the Big Wazoo. We named our team the Big Wazoo.
You know, that's why, as long as you had no association with Breakfast with Roger and Friends. And so
Well, that's not no association.
You brought down WAZU, the Big Wazoo. I don't care.
Now wait a minute. It's hard to bring down.
Yeah, I know where
It's
you're
hard to
going.
bring down
Yeah, I know.
WAZU and Roger and Friends. So we were right about it.
You maintain our reputation.
We weren't the worst.
That was well done.
We were close.
I salute you for that.
But it was fun. I'd do it again. It was
You
a lot
do
of
it
fun.
again.
Yeah.
And I thank Terry for setting up our tab at the bar. And
Yeah, but then my wife was upset with you.
no, really, I wanted
No,
you to
she
give
was.
somebody a big tip if you had any extra left over.
Well, I gave him a nice tip, but you gave me way too much money because
Sure, because I was paying. I was covering Ed and
they didn't have anything.
And
they had a
Terry.
We'll
Guinness.
arm wrestle about this off the air because I
No, I'm enjoying this.
Well, I
He gave me
appreciated
too much. He gave me too
Terry's,
much money. He gave me way too much money. He gave me like
Well,
3
did
times.
you give it back?
No,
Not yet. This is the first I've
Not
seen him.
3 times.
Oh, you
Mine
It
could
was
have
at least
said-
double
you could-
what you owed.
my
It was-
BLT
it was-
was I think
$10.
$9.
Is that what you had?
$10.
A BLT?
Yeah, they've
That
got a very
sounds
good
pretty
BLT
He gave me
for
$40.
$9. That's a
$9. He gave me $40 for a $9
You know,
sandwich.
you guys
Well,
are the
again, it
obligation.
covered my drink. It covered Terry's.
Boy, I wish I would have hung out with you.
I see. If you'd have known that, you'd have been there.
See, I remember when I would have
Well, I
lunch
owe
with-
you big time.
when
No, don't worry about it.
I would have lunch with Royce, and on occasion, not very often, when the check came, he would say, "I'll get it," and I would say, "No, I'll get it, Royce," and he would say, "Okay."
Yes, you two are like the opposite of two Scotsmen arguing over a bar bill.
Yeah.
Well, I was.
So the food was very good.
Oh yeah,
It's bar
Yeah,
food. It's
yeah.
pub food. It's good. Yeah, it's very good.
a lot of fried stuff.
But it's not like it's not like Michelin 5-star
Yeah.
cuisine or anything. But
Well, that's good to hear because I had, I think I mentioned this before, but bears repeating. I had 2 hot dogs at a place in Mackinac at a bar, $13.50 for 2 weenies.
No, he's very reasonable on his price.
Yeah.
And what would you say the average? I think he had a really very eclectic, a very
Well, I
diverse
like that
crowd.
word.
I don't like that word. A very diverse crowd.
I don't know what that word means,
And
but
I
I
mean,
love
he
it.
hit about every age group. I think almost.
yes,
Right?
yeah. I was surprised
So,
how many young people were there.
Yeah. yeah. And I think
Now,
that-
do
I
they
think that-
do
I
it-
think those young gals at the bar. I think they won.
Really?
Well, I saw something on a Facebook post. They had a gift certificate. I don't know if it was first or second place or what it was, but they were in the money.
And because where you finished, you weren't in the money. You didn't get anything?
We tried for the booby prize, but
Roger, we were so far from the money.
so there's nothing we couldn't
not
even
worth
cheat
talking
to win.
They were contributing the money.
There were three young, almost like college-age looking
Yeah.
girls at the bar, and of course they drew a lot of attention from the single guys that were in the.
I would say from the married
Get
guys.
some of the old married guys.
Yeah, exactly right. Do you think you stop looking when you get married? Hey, give me a break, Gene. Maybe you're saying that
Well-
because Becky might be listening, but
Well-
you don't suddenly lose interest in looking.
Yeah,
Well,
it's-
Terry was the one facing them, so he got.
you're on a diet, you
more
can look
of
at
a
the
Well,
chance
he
to
didn't need to be facing
review.
them.
But
Those chairs have swivels in them, don't they?
no, they
No,
didn't.
they didn't.
Unfortunately,
No, that was your problem then.
Well, the problem with a swivel chair, though, is that if you move, you reorient yourself to get a
Yeah,
side-eye
the better
glance,
view.
the chair tattles on you.
Side-eye glance. Jeez.
All right, I think we've done
Okay.
enough to destroy our reputation further, and we'll
Are you
break
sure
for-
we can do that?
Yes.
I don't think that's possible.
Congratulations, we've reached a new low.
All right, we have news, weather, and sports coming up, along with news from WCBU. You're listening to Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, on the FM radio side, and you can pick us up on YouTube as well at breakfastwithrogerandfriends.com, and I think that'll get you onto YouTube. We have 77 degrees, more coming up, so stay tuned, everybody. And a happy Thursday morning. It is July 24th, and we bring you, first of all, the weather. And it is brought to you by our friends at your hometown community banks division, Morton Community Bank. Wonderful locations throughout central Illinois to serve you. I love their tagline, look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. Member FDIC.
Well, Roger, we're under one of those heat advisory things. The heat index is going to be in the hundreds coming up today. About 94 is the regular temperature, but it'll still feel like 100 and something. Slight possibility of showers. If we don't get any rain today, expect some tonight. And the low tonight will be around 75. Tomorrow cloudy and not as hot, high 88. Good chance for rain tomorrow and tomorrow night. Saturday sunny and hot, high 92. 50% chance for rain Sunday. 94, so it's going to be a real hot weekend, and next week the high will be in 95 or so up until around Tuesday. So it's just hot and humid. 77 now, Roger.
All right, losing a pet affects just about everyone, and the caring people at Peoria Pet Crematory know that. They're great folks, available 24/7 to help you through the grieving process by offering several choices for care and remembrance. Peoria Pet Crematory. You can reach them at 309-713-1898. Here's Mike.
Thanks, Roger. Things are hot in the nation's capital, and we're not talking about the weather. Director of Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has released some 100 documents implicating, she says, former President Barack Obama in the plot.
Hey, that's a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. Well, implicating him in the plot to discredit Donald Trump. With the help of whistleblowers, Gabbard said the documents clearly show Obama ignored warnings that so-called evidence connecting Trump with Russian President Putin were false. Gabbard said Obama suggested creating their own evidence, and that apparently included the Steele dossier, which proved to be a complete hoax.
A skeptical White House News Corps questioned Gabbard's bombshell report and also challenged comments from White House spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt. She said many in the press room were among those who promoted the false Russian narrative for 4 years. When asked by a reporter from NBC if Gabbard was accusing Obama of treason, she said the Department of Justice will decide criminal implications. One thing is clear, said the former Democrat legislator from Hawaii, Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election on behalf of Donald Trump.
Gabbard also took to task former intelligence officials John Brennan and James Clapper, Andrew McCabe of the FBI, Susan Rice, and others who were named in the now declassified documents. The Director of Intelligence said a criminal referral has been sent to the Department of Justice, but did not provide any other details.
Columbia University has done a very poor job protecting its Jewish students, but denies any wrongdoing. However, they coughed up $221 million in settling a lawsuit against the school for alleged discriminatory practices. Where and who gets that money? How's that going to be distributed?
Columbia's
That's
got
a-
one of the largest endowments in the country, so I would guess they probably.
But 221 goes into an endowment? No,
No,
they
that's
have
not.
to-
Good. That's coming out of the end. That's where the money's coming
That's
from.
probably coming from the
possibly.
endowment. Who's it going? Is it going to get
Oh, that was
students?
the-
That's a good
the
question.
Justice Department, I think, is who filed that lawsuit.
No. Who gets the money?
I
Are they going to hand that to
don't
some
know
students?
exactly where it goes. The government decides.
I mean, there's
where-
$221 million to hand out.
And thank you very much.
Yeah, somebody's got to. I mean, do you think a student will get some of that money?
No.
No.
No, I think it'd probably just go into the
think so.
Treasury.
Maybe go for scholarships for Jewish students or something.
Well, again, the
Or they're
government
paying
could
this money
make
to
that
the.
determination,
They're
I
paying this money
suppose.
to the Treasury.
That's
think
what I
so.
would
No.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks for clearing that up.
If somebody knows better than we do.
Yeah, I don't see. I don't know. The White House called
Give
it the
us a
largest
call.
anti-Semitism settlement in U.S. history. Columbia school officials have agreed to reform. So I don't know. We'll
We
find
shall
out.
see. In the latest media ratings, Fox News has more than 2 million viewers over CNN. Fox even beat NBC, ABC, and CBS. CNN averaged less than 500,000 viewers and was so bad that more people watched the Home and Garden Network. CNN, you can't beat a good flower pot,
Oh
right?
no, no.
CNN did beat Breakfast with Roger and Friends, but then so did a few others.
I don't know by much though.
Yeah,
Not
I
by
think it was a
much.
squeaker.
In local news, there was a near tragedy in a grain bin in Fulton County. Fulton County authorities say an 85-year-old man was buried in grain up to his neck when rescuers arrived on the scene in the area of Marietta, Illinois. Population over there is about 100 folks. The victim was flown to OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Another worker was also in the grain elevator, but was unharmed.
In police news, 28-year-old Dracar Munoz is going to prison for 30 years. That was the sentence Judge Steve Curry delivered to Munoz after he was found guilty of armed robbery and aggravated battery in an incident from 2023 at Parkwood Commons Apartments on Great Oak Road.
And that Great Oak Road, by the way, is not far from the Kroger store on Sterling at Forest Hill. They were scheduled to close next month, but store officials couldn't wait. Unsuspecting customers learned the doors closed yesterday. It's gone. The closest grocery store for that part of the city is Aldi's on North University, and if they don't steal too much from there, I think that'll stay open.
Well, we'll
You know
wait
what
and
is
see.
interesting is it's unusual for two entities to close, in my opinion. McDonald's, it's rare when you close a McDonald's, but they did in the 2900 block of North Adams, my old neighborhood, and you wonder why. And then you talk to some of the people in the area, and it's due to the fact that some nefarious incidents, robberies, armed robberies, and some bad dudes hanging around in the place. Kroger, I understand, has been fighting shoplifting for years and years and decided, you know what, we're not going to fight it anymore. We'll just close the store.
Just close it down, yeah. That's too bad.
Yeah,
it
many
is.
years
But it's
there
going to
has
hurt
been
90% of, if not higher, 90 to 95% of the people who shop
Oh, yeah,
at
it's just
Kroger's.
5-10% of the clowns that are messing it up
Yeah.
for everybody.
Yeah.
For many years after after Starbucks became a nationwide brand, they bragged that there had never been a franchise or a store that closed. But now in the last couple of years, there's been quite a few,
Yeah.
again, related to what goes on around the stores and
neighborhood, yeah.
the neighborhood and the theft and the damage done by patrons.
And where was the first Starbucks?
That was one of the questions, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Last night.
Let's see.
but
Let's
it-
see if Mike and I can.
The question.
Answer.
Well, we just
you
gave the
can't
answer.
do the. You
Because
can't ask
the-
the same question.
The question was, what famous brand was founded at the Pikes Plaza Fish Market in Seattle?
I would say Seattle.
Well, you'd be wrong. The answer is Starbucks.
No, that's where the first one opened. Was it in Seattle?
Yes, and actually, I've been there to that.
Oh, really?
To that
You have?
Starbucks. Yeah.
Well, why was that a stop on your tour?
Seattle's a
cup of
beautiful
coffee.
city, and it's up on a little like cliff overseeing Puget Sound.
Oh, I see.
And the
So
fish
it's a nice
market
place
is
then.
you've seen that videos of the fish market where they throw the fish halfway across the market to somebody with a.
No, those are biscuits at
Fishmonger.
at that
No,
place
this is a
in-
fish market, not a biscuit market. But anyway, but the Starbucks is not actually in the Pikes market. It's actually across the street. So the question was a little bit.
And I didn't know. I didn't know the answer. I heard you guys say the answer, but it was
apparently
Terry-
you didn't know
Terry
a lot
knew
of
it.
the
Well,
it
answers.
was
And I
real
would've gotten
noisy in there. And
Oh, yeah, I
and
can't
my wife
stand
said
it,
it at
yeah.
the same time you guys did.
That
But
drove
I
me
thought
up
you
a
were
lot.
saying Starburst, and I thought Starburst candy. How did these guys know that? And I didn't know it was Starbucks until they
Well,
announced
no
it.
wonder you lost. You can't hear.
Yeah, it was very noisy in there. It was very
That is
very hard to hear.
amazing,
Yeah.
Terry.
But I thought you guys were saying Starburst. I went,
Starburst.
how in the hell did my wife know Starburst was in Seattle or whatever but it was a Starbucks.
You know, here's the bottom line.
It was noisy.
Let me uplift
It was
you
really
guys.
noisy.
We've been
have
pretty
a little
critical.
hearing loss. I had trouble
Huh?
hearing some
It was
of the.
very hard to hear.
Yeah. Let me say
ahead, I
this.
didn't hear you.
I want to uplift you because we've been a little hard on you. And it's tough to be losers. You know, and what I wanted to say here, you all had a good time, didn't you?
I had it.
Yeah,
See,
I had a
that's
good
it.
time, but yeah, it was
The
fine.
fact that you guys flopped is immaterial.
Well, yeah, thanks
you
for
went
adding
there to have a good time.
It was nice to see Eddie Hammond again, our buddy.
Yeah, our
Eddie.
Friday
was
morning
there
guy.
with us.
It was there, yeah.
I hope he had a good time. And Terry, both Terrys, and I got to meet the
Eileen.
wonderful Eileen,
Eileen Groy.
Terry's wife.
She's got one leg shorter than the other. That's how I
Why is
remember.
that the first thing you tell?
That's why.
That's the first thing you told me when I
Well, because
when
that's how
met
I
her.
remember her name.
Well, how do you publicize? That's like saying you've got
she doesn't
toenail
mind.
fungus.
She
You
doesn't
say,
mind.
"Hey, here's Terry. He's
But
got
everybody
toenail
remembers
fungus.
her
He's
name.
got toenail fungus."
No.
I mean, you don't
geez.
say
Oh,
that
that's
about
not my
your
name,
wife.
though. That's different.
Do you take all the radios out of the house before you come here in the morning?
No, but I get in a hell of a lot of trouble when I get home.
I was just going to say, we look forward to seeing your wife on Judge Judy or Dr. Phil for him. Are you done with the news?
Oh, were we even doing the news? Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we're done.
I was warned there would be days like this.
Stick a
but-
fork in it.
Exactly right. Well, let's hear what WCBU has to say this morning.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. The city of Peoria and Peoria County are getting close to $1.4 million in state funding to put toward the Greater Peoria Auto Crimes Task Force. The continuation grant was originally awarded by the state in 2023 to form the multi-jurisdictional investigative and prosecutorial unit. Peoria Police Chief Eric Echevarria says the task force is producing results.
Our motor vehicle thefts have gone down by almost 50% since from 2024 to 25.
The city council voted unanimously to accept this year's award. A 48-year-old Pekin woman has been arrested for allegedly attempting to have someone killed. Pekin police say Allison Salinas was taken into custody Tuesday following a 2-week investigation into a solicitation of murder. Pekin Police Chief Seth Ranney says his department worked with other agencies on the case, including the FBI's Springfield office. The case has been turned over to the state's attorney's office. Central Illinois Congressman Eric Sorensen is calling for an investigation into the government's response to the floods in Texas that killed more than 130 people.
But I do have questions as to how there was such a gap between the dire reports that they were giving out and then those folks, and especially those children who died. Why didn't it make it to them?
Sorensen says he wants to know if staff shortages, stalled forecasting improvements, or lack of flood preparedness may have contributed to the deaths. And a team of Washington City leaders will assist a hired consultant in recruiting a new city administrator. The City Council this week approved the plan to have 2 administrative staffers and Mayor Lilia Stevens work in conjunction with Jim Arndt of Arndt Municipal Support to save $4,000 on the contract. 2 members voted against the proposal, saying the savings weren't enough and the staff may have a bias toward an internal candidate. Alderperson Bobby Martin III said that was an unprofessional assumption.
Everything in here that I see that we'd have Team Washington do, I would have assumed we would have done anyway.
The team's duties will include developing promotional recruitment materials and performing routine social media searches of candidates. I'm Ben Howell.
All right, well, let's find out what's happening in the world of sports with Dr. Gene Sidler, brought to you by BradleyFans.com. Good morning, Gene.
Good morning, and thank you, Roger. Well, the Cubs lost last night to the Kansas City Royals 8-4. Actually, it was an afternoon game yesterday up at Wrigley. The Cubs ended up losing 2 out of 3 of those games to the Royals. They now have a record of 60-42. Now, that's still right up there with the best in the major leagues, but the Milwaukee Brewers have overtaken them again because the Brewers won last night, beating the Seattle Mariners 10-2. Cubs now in second place in the National League Central, a half a game behind the Brewers. Cubs are off today, and they'll play a 3-game series down at Rate Field against the White Sox. It used to be Guaranteed Rate
Yeah,
Field.
they've changed their name
And they've shortened
about
it to
4
just Rate
times.
Field. Well, of course, it was
Used to be
Comiskey Park.
Comiskey Park.
Then it was U.S. Cellular Field for a number of years, and then that naming rights deal finally ended, and now Guaranteed Rate, which is an online mortgage company, very successful online mortgage company, is the naming rights name on the field now. But they shortened it to just Rate Field.
Did I tell you that my wife and I and our 2 boys decided to go see a Cub game, and we drove up to Chicago, got a hotel, and then instead of driving to the park, which is a nightmare, as you know, to Wrigley Field, we hailed a cab, and he said, "Where to?" And I said, "Wrigley Field." And he said, "What?" I said, "Wrigley Field." He actually did not know.
What?
That is a true story, because he said, "Oh, you mean Cubs Park?"
People just call it Cubs Park.
Yeah, and I found out that they also call the Comiskey Park White Sox Park.
Yeah.
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 I could see why you would, but I didn't know. I could see why you would do that, but I've never heard that before. I've always heard Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
Well, that's because we don't live in
that
Chicago.
Live in
is
Chicago,
still widely used, but people who live in that area just call it Cubs Park.
I don't know. I lived in that area. I always called it Wrigley Field. Really? So, 'cause I lived just down the road on.
But you
Newport.
weren't a Chicagoan. I mean, you were a
Chicago.
pure.
Yeah. I was a foreigner.
An interloper.
Yeah. Did you ever go to the
Yeah, I
Cub
know.
game by the L, using the L?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
all the time. Yeah, we stay downtown.
That's a
and
neat
take
way.
the L up.
But boy, I tell you, and I'm going back a number of years, I can imagine what it's like today. You saw a cornucopia of people, so I guess I'll put it that way. I mean, everybody, all different income levels, big, little, short, fat, whatever,
Yep.
people, bearded, unbearded, clothed, unclothed. I mean, you're in a great mixture of peoples. But boy, is it neat and convenient. Like after the game, you leave and you go and you get in a big line,
Yep.
and you get on the L, and next thing you know, you're in downtown Chicago.
There you go.
Get
Yeah.
the hell out of there.
Yeah. All right, where are we?
We're on to
With
the
Dr.
next
Gene Sedler.
score here. The St. Louis Cardinals last night lost to the Colorado Rockies 6-0, and they've lost 2 out of their 3 to the Rockies, worst team in baseball, and they've lost 5 of their last 6 games. They dropped now 9 games behind the first place Brewers, and they may be sellers at the trade deadline coming up here in a week. They are back home tonight to play the first of a 4-game series against the San Diego Padres, and they need to turn this around quickly if they want to stay in contention. Probably more for a wild card spot now if they're aiming for postseason playoffs.
Question for you. You think the manager will be gone at the end of the year?
You know, they've switched managers too many times here in the last decade that I think they'll probably stick with him. That roster is just really seriously flawed. They just don't have, in a way, they're kind of like the White Sox. They don't have the big run driving in guys, the home run guys. Now that Goldschmidt is gone and Pujols long gone, they just don't score enough runs, and then their bullpen isn't very good. Of course, the Cubs have a little bit of issue there as well. No, I think they'll probably stay with Marmol a little bit longer. White Sox, by the way, they're on a hot streak. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays 11-9 last night. Took two out of three from the Rays, a pretty good team. They're in playoff contention in the American League East. They've won 5 of the 6 games since the All-Star break, and they've scored 49 runs in those 6 games. And that, again, is unusual. The White Sox were the team with the lowest offensive output in the major leagues prior to this last 6 games. They're off today, and they'll host the Cubs for the weekend series, starting with a Friday night game. Major League trade deadline is a week from today at 6 p.m. next Thursday, and there's a number of teams still competing for playoff spots, of course, so expect a bit of trade activity in this next week. The Peoria Chiefs lost to the West Michigan Whitecaps 9-4. The Chiefs 11-15 in the second half of the season. They're in 5th place in the West Division of the Midwest League, and that's where they finished in the first half, so unless they put on a big run here, they are not looking at a playoff spot for the postseason. The series against the Whitecaps continues through Sunday down at Dozier Field, and the 2025 Tour de France finishes up this weekend. Last year's winner Tadej Pogacar continues to lead overall, now more than 4 minutes over the second place rider, who is Jonas Vingegaard. He's a 2-time winner himself. 4 more stages to go, including stage 18 today that continues in the southern French Alps. And the U.S. Olympic Committee made news this week, updating its policies and banning transgender women from competing in women's sports to stay in line with the presidential executive order. The International Olympic Committee, however, does not appear to be planning any change in their stance, which defers the decision to each athlete's sports governing body and what their rules are. This year, the international governing organizations for swimming, track and field, and cycling have also banned athletes who were born male and who went through male puberty. Other sports groups are considering eligibility rules.
Now you say transgender women. That would also include transgender men.
Yeah, that's the appropriate, politically correct.
What's a transgender man? I mean, that could, right?
Well, that is a good topic, because there are, of course, transgender men, but none have ever tried to compete against men in sports. You can't name a single instance where a transgender man ever tried to compete against men and succeeded with some degree of success. So that alone should nullify the argument that they don't have any advantage. Well, of course, men transing over to women clearly have an advantage. Everybody now finally is coming around to recognizing that, although there's still a few people holding out. And yes, it's just not fair to the women. That's what women's sports are for, and to allow men to compete against them, biological men, which is what we're talking about here. Trans women are biological men. There's nobody disputing that. Although first we have to define what a woman is, right?
And I guess some people have a hard time doing that.
We aren't going to get that out of Ketanji Brown.
Justice Brown Jackson. She seemed to have an issue with that.
Doesn't seem to me.
Which I find particularly interesting, because how does she define herself if she doesn't know what a woman is?
And how does she rule on cases that might come before the court that involve that topic? So, yes, I believe her actual answer was, I'm not a biologist, so I can't answer that.
Right. So that should disqualify her from any Supreme Court case that involves biology.
The next Olympics is the 2026 Winter Olympics. They have separated them now. They used to be on the same year. Now the Winter Olympics are on the 2 years off from the Summer Olympics.
Didn't they used to have that? Wasn't it years ago that way, where the Winter Olympics were every other, like it was like Olympics on this time and then 2 years later it was a winner, or was it always?
No, I believe from the beginning they were always on the same year. But then I think right around 2000 or so they switched to the Winter Olympics now being on the off-even years. So 2026 will be the Winter Olympics in Milan, Italy, and in Cortina, Italy. Those cities are very close to where Kyle's adopted son lives up in northern Italy, yes. In fact, his hometown near Lake Como is kind of right between Milan, where most of the indoor events will be held, and then Cortina, which is up in the Alps, is where all of the skiing and outdoor activities
It sounds
will take
beautiful.
place. Yeah, yes.
Absolutely. Maybe what we ought to do is put together a tour and breakfast with Roger and friends in Italy.
I would go along with that, Roger.
I wouldn't be opposed to that at all.
I don't like to fly. Can I drive?
Just so far, and then you're in trouble.
The
It
next-
does sound beautiful. In all your travels, all three of you, did any of you get to Italy?
Well, yes, my wife and I
Yeah.
spent a couple weeks in Italy.
You too?
And
Yeah.
Michael's been there, yes.
I did
we
a lot of
not get
traveling,
any-
never made it to Italy, and I
we never got
regretted
farther north than Florence, Firenze. And
That's off the
Italian.
university.
That's no, that's in Tuscany, the part of that's northern Italy, but it's not far north.
What is Venice?
Venice is much farther north. Yeah,
Florida.
Well, I
on
got
the
to
East
Venice.
Coast.
okay.
I did get there on a tour, and that's where they have the gondolas that you can get, or is it gondola?
Gondola.
Yeah,
I think it's
You get gondolas. That's a sandwich.
Yes, that's a
That's
sandwich.
at Vani.
It's like goulashes and
Galoshes.
Yes.
When
I
you,
always did
when you
that.
step
I
in.
put on a bucket full of galoshes, no goulash. Anyway, it sounds beautiful. And Venice is very nice, except it had the smell of water. And I don't mean
The
you know,
pleasant.
ocean water
Yeah.
either. It did not
Well,
have good
there's
smell.
nowhere else for the sewage to go, except eventually into the canals themselves, and that's the unfortunate part about Venice is that it's a highly populous area, all built
Yeah.
on islands and stilts in the sea.
Not unusual to see
That's where they
gondolas
invented,
in the water.
The Venetian blind, I believe. was-
No.
No?
And actually,
That's
what's
not
the
true?
name of the church? St. Mark's, is it?
St. Mark's,
Yeah, St. Mark's.
that's
Beautiful church.
the big church and plaza in Venice, and that's where that wedding of Jeff Bezos and his wife Lauren Sands.
Yeah, I got an
right.
invitation, but I just couldn't make
Oh,
it.
mine came late. I got the day after the wedding. Oh, jeez.
The
Well, I
next,
got the wrong Venice.
you were in,
Isn't
in
there,
Florida? or-
Well,
Isn't there one in Illinois? Is
There
a
probably is.
I don't know of one in Illinois, but the Florida, obviously, a lot of Peorians.
Florida and
Florida,
one in
California.
California.
Yeah.
The next Summer Olympics is in the United States in
Where is it?
2028.
California,
It's
isn't
in
it?
Los Angeles. So that's
It's been there before, right?
it has
several
1932. It was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you remember.
1980.
Jesse
That was there.
Owens, and then
Was
yes,
there.
one other
That was
time.
Jesse Owens' time, yeah.
I think it
84?
was. It was in the. I was thinking in the 60s.
And Hitler attended, did he not? He attended the
Oh yeah, it was in Munich.
Yeah.
And the star was Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens.
Jesse Owens and Ralph Metcalf.
Oh, that's right.
Haven't I don't
Finished
remember
second
it.
to Jesse. Yes, they both finished ahead of the heralded
German.
runner in the running events.
Hans Fischbach.
What?
That was his name.
That's who
Hans
came in third?
Fischbach. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Really? No,
No.
No, well, you're right.
I made it up.
1984.
I thought it was a great name.
Los
it was a
Angeles.
great name. You had him there for a second.
Yeah. Okay, anything else in
Wow,
the world of
that's
sports?
more than enough, isn't it?
No, we never have enough sports. And if you don't have enough sports, you can always go to BradleyFans.com. Just off the wall, my question is Bradley going to be pretty competitive again this year?
You know, there's a high level of excitement and anticipation for this year because there's so many new players that Bradley has.
Well, they're going to be tall, that's for sure.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do. They will be the tallest team in the Missouri Valley because we've got 3 7-foot players on the team.
Holy
Yes.
moly.
Are they putting on weight? That's the issue.
Yes.
We've had some tall guys, but they were skinny
No,
guys.
they are. They're
need
all
muscular
they're
guys.
all very good bulk and strength. Now, one of them, a Brazilian player that's coming in as a freshman, had a knee injury in his final year of high school, so he will redshirt this coming year and not play as he's recovering from surgery. But the other 2, one of them is the Serbian player, Ahmet Janovic, who's been at Bradley for 2.5 years. He will probably be the starting center, but they now have another 7-foot backup, Kai Yu, Y-U. Is the spelling of his last name. He is a Chinese player and very
I
skilled.
never would have guessed. Is he skilled?
Very
now, how
skilled
did he
player.
get him?
He was originally recruited and played last year at Liberty University.
Okay, that's
in,
Jerry Falwell's
Jerry Falwell's
school,
over
isn't
in
it?
Virginia. What's the city that they're in? Falls Church.
Oh, yeah, Falls Church,
Virginia.
Virginia, yeah.
Virginia.
Anyway, he will be the backup center, and we'll get to see him play. And yeah, he's really got potential.
I think they're going to be very competitive.
I-
Will Drake be the other team to beat?
Drake will be good, even though they lost their coach and they lost pretty much all of their key players. Again, their coach was hired at Iowa, University of Iowa. Ben McCullum now is the coach at Iowa.
I did not know that.
Fran McCaffrey stepped down.
A lot of people were glad to see that.
Well, he actually got another job. I think he's at Siena or one of those Eastern schools as head coach. But yeah, so Ben McCullum now at Iowa, and with him went Bennett Sturts, the player of the year that played for Drake last year and helped them win the conference, and a few other players. But they've reloaded and they will be good. Murray State has had a terrific recruiting class. They will be good. Illinois State, which played very well down the stretch last year, was a very young team, and they pretty much have all of their key
Everybody
players
coming
coming
back.
back, which is unusual with this transfer portal phenomena. But Illinois State managed somehow to get all their players to return, and they will be very good next year. I personally am pegging Bradley for 4th or 5th place.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh, that's not good.
I know. I have usually been very
Yes,
high
you
on
have.
Bradley.
Yes, you
4th or
have.
5th. But I don't. I just think we
Well,
have
let's
too many
hope.
new
Don't
players.
take this personally. Let's hope you're wrong.
Well, we lost Duke Dean, our top scorer. We lost Darius Hanna, our second leading
Did they
scorer,
go to the
leading
transfer
rebound.
portal? Is that it, or did they
No,
graduate?
they all finished their eligibility.
Okay.
They all were fifth-year seniors. And Christian Davis, the third leading scorer, he's gone. Trying to think who else, but yeah, they lost pretty much like about 80-90% of their scoring and rebounding from last year's team. So we just have very little coming back. But again, with the additions of some transfers coming in and 3 or 4 freshmen, actually, I think we got 5 freshmen coming in this year's class, but 2 of them are going to redshirt. That means not play this year, and then retain their eligibility for 4 more years starting in 26-27. But the 3 that will play this year, Dietrich Richardson, who was all-state player from Manual, nephew of DJ Richardson, who had a great career at University of Illinois.
Yeah, that's right.
Back about 15, 20 years ago. He was runner-up to the Player of the Year in the Class 2A. And Matt Zobrist, the son of Aaron,
Metamora.
Hall of Fame player from
So
Bradley.
they're going to be better in
Metamora.
4th or 5th. I have
Well, again,
I have
you-
to
you
take issue
can't
with you,
count,
Senator.
though, on freshmen because it takes a little bit of time to adjust. It's a different game.
Well, we do have time.
Speed and physicality and all that, but Matt Zobrist, terrific shooter, terrific player, really smart, cerebral player. 6'5", he's about 5 inches taller than his dad was when his dad played at Bradley in the 1990s. His dad actually led the country, and we don't have too many players at Bradley that are the national leaders in free throw percentage. Plus, he was one of the top 3-point shooting percentage players in Bradley's history. I think he may, in fact, be number 1 in 3-point shots in Bradley's history. That was his father, Aaron. who
Now, this
played
is the kind of
back in
information
the
you can
90s.
only get on BradleyFans.com.
You'll find some of that buried at Bradley Fans.
After the news, I want to ask you, if you know, if you don't know, I'll give you time to look it up. These ineligible players, they played out their term, they can't play. Where'd they go? What are they doing?
Okay, well, interesting.
Well, maybe after the
Yeah,
news.
they all signed pro contracts.
Oh, they
they're all
did?
going to play professional overseas.
Oh, okay.
Well, see, he doesn't have to look it up.
Yeah, I know.
No,
I
that
knew
was a
it'd be
very
right.
good
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
It probably should have been asked after the news.
Well, I tried to.
Just yesterday, we posted and found that Christian Davis will play in Finland in a pro league.
Okay.
Duke Dean is going to play in Belgium, I think. We had that a couple weeks ago. Darius Hanna still looking. And, of course, Malave Leon, who graduated a year ago, in 2024, he is still playing. He's still under contract to the Oklahoma City Thunder, who were the NBA champions this year.
So they're all playing ball. Nobody got into the working world.
All of
Everybody's
these
playing
guys want to play at least a few years
Okay.
somewhere. And in Europe, there's a lot of opportunity for American college graduates to go over there and play. And they usually dominate and have terrific
Did any of the Bradley players sign contracts with the WNBA?
No. That's a no.
Okay.
That's a no.
None of the guys.
All right.
Especially.
And our news at the bottom of the hour brought to you by BradleyFans.com and also Bob Manning, Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor. What was that? Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. For investment needs, think about Bob Manning. He's available at 309-671-4653. I'll repeat that number, 671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Mike Dentino has the news. Good morning, Mike.
Well, good morning, Roger, and thank you. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has released some 100 documents implicating former President Barack Obama in the plot to discredit Donald Trump. With the help of whistleblowers, Gabbard said the documents clearly show Obama ignored warnings of so-called evidence connecting Donald Trump with the Russian President Putin were false. Gabbard said Obama suggested creating their own evidence and that apparently included the Steele dossier, which proved to be a complete hoax. White House news reporters questioned Gabbard's bombshell report and challenged comments from the White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt. She said many in the press room were among those who promoted the false Russian narrative for 4 years. When asked by a reporter from NBC if Gabbard was accusing Obama of treason, she said the Department of Justice will decide criminal implications. One thing is clear, said the former Democrat legislator from Hawaii, Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election on behalf of Donald Trump. Gabbard also took to task former intelligence officials John Brennan and James Clapper, Andrew McCabe of the FBI, Susan Rice, and others who were named in the now declassified documents. The Director of Intelligence said a criminal referral has been sent to the Department of Justice, but did not provide any other details. Columbia University admits it has done a poor job protecting its Jewish students, but denies any wrongdoing. However, they did cough up $221 million in settling a lawsuit against the school for alleged discriminatory practices. The White House called it the largest anti-Semitism settlement in history. In the latest media ratings, Fox News has more than 2 million viewers over CNN. Fox even beat NBC, ABC, and CBS. CNN averaged less than 500,000 viewers and is so bad that more people watched the Home and Garden Network. In local news, there was a near tragedy in a grain bin in Fulton County. Fulton County authorities say an 85-year-old man was buried by grain up to his neck when rescuers arrived on the scene in the area of Marietta, Illinois, population of about 100. The victim was flown to OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Another worker was also in the grain elevator but was unharmed.
Have you thought, asking the question, what's a guy that age doing in a grain bin?
Hey,
Many farmers don't retire.
No.
Roger.
Yeah,
They-
that's a good point.
farmers and musicians, they're there doing it till they're
And old-
horizontal and getting
and
dirt
sometimes
thrown
old
on 'em.
radio guys.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why didn't he get his own morning radio show? Crying out loud. Yeah, because all you have to do is sit here and talk.
you have to
That's
do
right.
everything, right.
That's right. Well, you don't even have to make sense.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to get hold of him when he gets out.
And we are proof of that.
That's right.
Yeah,
We're living proof of that.
Living proof.
Well, the question about living is open for debate, too.
Well, you know, we had to get in.
Upright, maybe.
Yeah, we had to get in here somehow, and unless someone rolled us in.
Yeah. Well, we're getting close to it.
Yeah, well. Hey, in police news, 28-year-old Dracar Munoz is going to prison for 30 years. That was the sentence that Judge Steve Curry delivered to Munoz after he was found guilty of armed robbery and aggravated battery in an incident in 2023 at Parkwood Commons Apartments on Great Oak Road. Great Oak, by the way, is not far from the Kroger store on Sterling at Forest Hill. Scheduled to close next month, the store officials couldn't wait. Unsuspecting customers learned that the doors closed yesterday. It's gone. The closest grocery store for that part of the city is now Aldi's on North University. And Roger, that's it for news at the bottom of the hour.
And there you have it. Well, let's find out about the weather, brought to you by Steve Sink. He's a managing partner of PHX affiliate. Steve knows business. He's been a business broker for over 20 years, and he's been working with people who want to buy or sell a business. And if you want more information about that kind of activity in the world of business, get a hold of Steve. He's available at 309-696-8508.
Heat advisory until 7 o'clock tonight, Roger. Sunny, hot today. High 94, that's going to put a heat index about 107. Slight possibility of showers. I just looked at the radar. There is a pretty good line of showers over by Des Moines, Iowa right now, and that runs all the way down to Kansas. So
Do you feel like when you look on your phone at the map, the weather map, that you really probably could do weather on TV?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, God, no. I've got that face for radio.
Well,
Couldn't be on
listen, they
TV.
say powder puff your head. I think it would be okay.
No, I don't. I would never want to do.
I've got a couple of hair pieces in a
No,
cross
no,
that you
no.
could.
I liked radio years ago, but I never wanted to
you've
be
got,
on.
You got a great radio.
Well,
I hear
thank you
this-
very much.
I hear that from a lot of people. Boy,
Well,
even my sister in California says, "Boy, he's got a great radio."
Yeah, well, I was blessed with a nice.
Yes, you
voice,
were.
But
Nice set of pipes.
yeah, but I can't sing. Can't hold a tune in a bucket.
Ugh.
Cannot hold a tune.
Now, Mike can. Mike
can
and his
sing
entire
and dance
family.
and
They're
dance.
entertainers.
We're entertainers, but not entertainers or singers.
Mm-hmm.
You ever hear Jerry Lewis sing?
Yeah, you say that,
Horrible.
but I understand. I heard a story years ago that when they first started, Jerry Lewis did a lot of singing.
Really?
Well, it could be because the
Never heard that.
fact is that when people think about Jerry Lewis singing, it's usually off key and very akimbo, shall I say?
You couldn't hold a candle to Dean Martin. though.
Well,
how would you
no.
sing with a guy
Well,
like
I
that?
wouldn't
right?
hold a candle.
See, that's just it. If you're going to sing, it takes talent to sing badly. And to sing badly, you probably had to sing well at one point in your life.
Yeah, well,
Did Jerry Lewis ever sing?
Well, on his fundraising telethons, he
Yeah.
would sing
but he
when
kinda
you walk
talked
through the
he never sang.
storm,
He kind of
hold
talked.
your head up high. What's
And
that
then he
song
cried
at the
and
end?
said- the
Yes,
microphone
listen,
down
I
there.
just asked, and it said yes, Jerry Lewis, the comedian and actor, did sing. He even sang on a 1965 album with Hal Blaine. I'm sure all of you remember Hal.
No clue.
Where he performed a very poignant rendition of Yesterday. While primarily known
the
for his
Beatles?
comedic
No, not the
talents, Lewis was also, listen to this, a decent singer.
Yeah, I've heard him sing, and he can sing, but he's
Really?
just not great at it, and he prefers not to, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, now he can sing, but we
So there's another song called Yesterday besides the Beatles. Oh.
yeah. Didn't one of the Ames brothers
I don't know.
sing?
I only knew the Beatles
Ed.
yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Well,
Okay.
it's 78 degrees now. It's going to be a hot weekend. It'll be in the 90s on the weekend, so that's not going to be fun. It's hot and sticky out there.
Well, I mean, we've got usually the dog days don't come till like early to mid-August, but
Have you noticed things are getting here earlier, though?
True.
They've been doing that for the last couple of years. It seems like that things are a little bit early. Does this really hot weather affect your bees? Does the honey's got to flow easier, right?
right. It doesn't
Well, I
seem
mean,
to bother
yeah.
them.
What's so funny? I mean, it's got to be
Yes, the viscosity you're talking
Sure.
about.
Yeah.
hot honey flows.
We all worry about viscosity when it gets hot.
Well, hot honey flows easier than cold honey, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, my hot
Well, what do you
honey,
mean? You don't?
I think I'm going to stop right there.
I think you should.
Oh, no.
But the heat, they fly slower, don't they? I mean,
No,
because
actually,
the air's thicker
I
and
think
it's harder to fly.
I think bees are somewhat endothermic. I mean,
Ooh.
the warmer they get, the more active they are.
But they can't fly faster in weather like this, where it's humid. The
They're flying
weather.
faster than me.
We're talking lift, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
flight works, and they've got to fly slower in thicker air.
Well, but I think that's why they only last a couple weeks during the summer.
They
fly
only last
themselves
2
in-
weeks, huh?
Yeah, I mean bees. They
But in the meantime, they give it all.
they do. I mean there's no quit in a bee.
So is your bee cemetery filling up pretty quick?
Yeah,
then?
Well, they just kind of scatter themselves along the bottom of the hive, just outside the door of the
yeah,
hive.
and they just go, and
Yep.
that's it.
They have a little bee heart attack, and like I hear this, thump.
And that was it.
How do you prepare?
They just tell them they're going to die. That's what they do. Hey, here's Jerry Lewis. And,
Oh, all right.
was singing on the telethon. See what you.
At the end of the telethon?
Yeah.
Oh, where he starts crying.
When you walk
Oh, I don't
through
like
a
this.
storm, keep your head up high and don't be afraid of the dark.
I wouldn't say that's a good
At
singer.
the end of the storm is a golden sky
How old is he? He's probably
and
80,
the sweet
90s.
silver song of a lark. Walk on through the wind.
Yeah, that's not singing.
Yeah.
Walk on through the rain, though your dreams be tossed
Now he had,
and blown.
not to take anything away, he did.
Walk on
Yeah, I know.
with hope in your heart,
Yeah, no, I know
and
my
you'll
song.
never
What's it gonna say anything bad?
walk alone.
Well, he didn't interrupt you while you were giving the weather.
Well,
Let the guy sing.
Never walk alone. Walk on,
Okay, we're
with
walking.
hope in your heart, and you'll never walk alone. You'll never walk
That's brutal.
But at least he's not using
alone. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Jerry. I heard he had, it was
I think
really,
it's-
really nice.
I know what you're going to say.
What am I going to say?
He was having health issues.
No. I wasn't
Well,
going
he
to say
was, wasn't he? Near the
yeah.
end of his career.
Oh yeah, he had a lot of
that.
help.
No, that isn't what I was going to say.
Okay.
He
What
did
were
very
you-
well for the telethon. They raised a lot of money for a very worthy cause. But
Yes, he did.
He had a really, really, really big ego, and he was a little difficult to work with.
And you remember the MDA, the the Muscular Dystrophy Association divorced themselves from him and his program and his telethon.
Eventually, yeah.
Because they wanted more control over how the money was spent, and Jerry wanted to have his say. And plus, the Muscular Dystrophy Association did not like Jerry portraying it as a disability,
Right.
and playing on sympathy of people. Remember, all throughout the telethon, they would show video of these poor kids trying to struggle to walk and in a wheelchair and all that. And the MDA.
Well, what was wrong with that? My goodness, when I
Well,
watched
again,
it's St. Jude's
it's
spots
kind
of
of
those
way to look
kids
at
that
it.
break
kind of
up,
wokeness
breaks my heart.
versus reality. Yeah,
Right,
I mean,
right.
you're right. It doesn't make sense, but that's the way it ended up.
Well, I will say this: the MDA doesn't raise the kind of money they used to raise with Jerry Lewis.
Oh, no.
They don't even do the telethon anymore, do they?
No,
No, he raised. And
Give
he
the
was-
man credit.
No, I do. I give him all the credit in the world, but he was a little bit, I think, difficult to work with.
Well, you're not exactly a charmer. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist that. I mean, let's face it. Where'd you end up on the competition?
Well, that's true.
You were
That's
the
true.
captain of the team.
Yeah, but you
14 teams, and they wound up 13th in the standings.
Will you stop bringing that up? I can't take it. I can't take it, Roger.
Well, wait a minute. Your credentials are impeccable. You were a winning team
went
on
to s-
national television.
And he went to school. He's got a degree.
You get on his team, it's a bunch of losers, and your whole reputation down the
I
toilet.
skipped the course on whiskey making at Bradley.
I think
That
he did.
That was
my-
a big mistake.
Yeah, you should have had Mike Dentino come in.
I think he did it to
He
make me
had
look
the
bad.
answer,
I think he did it to make me
Siddler's
look
out,
bad.
Dentino's in when it comes to alcohol.
Well, I'm usually out when it comes to alcohol anyway.
It wasn't your.
least
It
later
wasn't
in
your
the night.
typical trivia. I think on a typical trivia night, where trivial type questions.
I do very well with
we
Trivial
would've done-
Pursuit, where they ask.
Absolutely, and he does well
The kind
here
of
with the,
questions I would
with the
know.
silly stuff that you ask
I
us.
want to. Thank you. Touche. I felt bad about not being able to attend to root you guys on. When I got the results, I was so happy I stayed home that I cried.
Well, you could have helped.
You guys were beyond help.
You know who showed up? Phil Salzer showed up. He was there.
Phil did.
Well, he could have helped you.
Well,
Phil,
no, he didn't.
he didn't know much about drinking.
He was into the Guinness.
Well, he didn't show up till after that first
Alice, again,
section
seems a tennis player
about
for
whiskey. So no, he
Bolivia.
wouldn't have been there for that. Anyway,
anyway.
We'll try it again. I'm game. I'm game to go to a real trivia game. You know what I mean?
Well, what do you
Not-
mean? In other
Well,
words,
something
things
that's-
that you know. Yeah.
well,
That's-
but now remember the one from a year ago with the Peoria Historical Society. All the questions were about what jingles were used by advertisers in the 1950s,
Yeah,
or what,
yeah.
things that I didn't live in Peoria
Yeah,
until the
yeah.
70s, so I didn't have any
We
clue.
didn't do bad. We didn't do great, but I didn't think we
finish
did that.
last, but we
There's
were
a guy.
Did we
No,
finish
no, we
last?
did not finish
No, we didn't
last,
finish.
but we were nowhere close to winning that one.
I can't remember his name, but there was a guy who did it every, I want to say, Wednesday or whatever, first Wednesday of the month at the Pizza Works. And they'd have
Oh, there's quite
100
a
and
few
some
bars
people.
that I've heard of
Yeah.
that have trivia night one
Yeah.
day a week or one day a month.
Now,
something
one of
like
those
that.
we need to go to. One of those I think we would
We
win
would do.
if I
well,
picked
you
the right
said
team.
that about this one. I
Well, I'll
remember
pick the right team next time. No, I think the same team
Yeah.
could win it.
This guy, the night before, was recruiting the team. You didn't know this. Had you known, you wouldn't have gone. He said, "We'll win this. And we'll win this."
Well, yeah, I thought
I mean,
I thought
you talk about being overconfident.
Well,
You make
I was
fun of
giving all the
Jerry
credit
Lewis.
to Gene and to Terry. I think their trivia knowledge is
Yeah, you mentioned that.
above reproach.
Our areas of strength did not mesh with what the
Yeah.
questions
It was,
were.
no,
and
because
that's quite common.
Because they had a lot of questions about MASH and mesh and
About
alcohol.
what?
And,
Oh, well.
Yeah.
That kind of mash, yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we talked earlier about air conditioning and going to the theater. The
Yes.
first theater, what was the year? The first theater that installed the true type air conditioning that we use today, the compressed gas.
I'm going to say big city. I'm going to say New York.
It might have been New York, but I'm asking for the year. What was the
I'm gonna say
year?
36.
I'm going to say
Yes, it was New York City, Times Square, the Rivoli Theater.
the what theater?
Rivoli.
Rivoli, R-I-V-O-L-I.
Isn't that ravioli?
It's not quite the same.
I can take a bite out of that. So you're still asking the year.
You're a little high number-wise.
What year
okay.
did you say?
Ooh.
36.
36.
34 or
30
6 or something like
Yeah,
that.
30. Call it 34.
So that's high?
Yes.
Oh.
My goodness.
Well, I've
I'm going to
seen
say 1928. You're a little low?
19,
I'm gonna let him answer
because it
first.
was Carrier. Carrier invented the air conditioner. His name was actually Carrier. I think it was Glenn. I might be wrong on the first name, but his last name was Carrier, and I can see his
Willis.
picture.
Willis.
It was Willis?
Willis Carrier, yes.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
once
Okay.
again, I can't get over the fact that Terry, it just
29.
happens too much.
No, you're doing it all wrong.
It was 1925.
And the history of how Willis Carrier was the inventor of the modern type air conditioning goes back thousands of years, and
Well,
thousands of
thousand?
years?
Come
Well,
on, doctor.
We
cooling.
didn't have
Air
electricity.
cooling.
How?
But I'm talking about just
Cooling,
the top,
okay.
yeah, the topic
How
of
could they
cooling
do it
air.
thousands of years ago? That's
Yeah.
not
Oh,
true.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
no. It's
No, they would somehow channel wind.
But they'd turn a
across
fan on some
blocks
ice?
of ice. Yes.
Yeah,
And would
Babylonians.
cool.
We didn't have
buildings
fans
that way.
back then.
You just open a window
Really?
and put a block of ice in the window.
Yesterday,
that's telling
Terry
you,
was
okay.
fanning herself.
Thousands
with-
It has been known
with
for
paper.
literally thousands of years in,
Wow.
in Greek writings that if
Okay.
you evaporate a liquid, it cools.
It cools,
You can
yeah.
do that by licking your skin and blowing
It's
on
called sweat.
right.
it. Basically, that's
Yeah,
what the body does with sweat.
Okay.
But the modern type air conditioning was invented in what year?
Well, you said 1925, I think.
No, that was
that was the first theater.
first theater air conditioned. It was much earlier than that.
1919.
Yes, it had already been in use in a number of other applications like factories and refrigeration and so forth.
Well, if you said thousands of years ago, then I'd say.
No.
no.
This is when did Willis Carrier?
Oh, when did
invent
Willie do it?
Yeah.
the modern air conditioner?
So it was
1919.
before 1925.
Oh yeah,
You're
it wasn't until
indicating,
1925 that a theater owner got this.
yeah.
grand idea.
1918.
Okay.
I said 1919.
No, it was actually much earlier. It was 1902. 1902.
Mike, did you guess yet?
Well, no, but I had already.
What would you
looked it
guess
up.
now,
That's why I was
Mike?
being quiet.
Yeah, a printing
okay.
company in New York, in a very hot summer, noticed that their printing jobs were coming out very poorly because the paper
was running.
the
Viscosity
paper
of
was,
the
yeah
ink,
was
right.
absorbing moisture and was distorting, and they went to an engineering company of which Willis Carrier worked and wanted something to help cool their building, and they came up with this idea. It involves compressing a gas outside of the building where it generates heat when you compress a gas. So you had to blow off the heat, but then when you channel that compressed gas, which now is a liquid, into the house or the building, you allow it to expand and it cools.
Right.
And you blow a fan across those cooling coils. But it wasn't because of the cooling. They wanted to get rid of the humidity. So the modern air conditioning was invented to try to control indoor humidity. And they noticed, well, hey, this is kind of cool. It also keeps us nice and comfortable inside. And so that's the beginning of modern air conditioning.
The stuff you learn at Roger and Friends.
I know
is
it blows
amazing.
me away. All right, for 10 points, what was, based on what you just said, what was one of the major companies in Peoria that was involved in cooling?
Was wholesale or retail?
Yes.
Connor Company?
No? Going back before Connor was ever
Fritz?
thought of. Going way back before Fritz.
Rule?
No? Peoria Ice Company.
Oh, yeah.
Peoria
Well,
Ice
every
Company used
city.
to every winter would go down to the Illinois
Exactly.
River and cut big chunks of ice
Yep.
Yeah.
and then sell it to homeowners.
They would store it in a warehouse. Of course, half of it would melt by the end of the summer, but
Right.
that was what they went around and delivered to homes. And you remember those
Exactly
little wooden
right.
ice boxes?
That's when
they
you had
would
a
have-
real ice box. Yeah.
I had a
and it was
building-
called an ice box for that reason. And people would put in the window a card, and one side would be one part would be 25, and maybe I don't know 50,
How many
and they
pounds they
would
wanted?
turn it up for 25 and turn it down for the 50, and they put it in the window, and the guy would put a mat over his shoulder, and he had the tongs. I remember watching
Yeah,
it.
ice tongs.
And,
And
grab
the
a hunk of
Iceman
ice
would
and put it-
cometh.
yeah, the
That's right.
Iceman. What movie was that?
Well, that was a novel written by Sinclair Lewis or one of those famous
I had some
American
buildings
novelists.
down at the corner of Adams and Caroline. And in the buildings that I had, there was 3 or 4 of them there on Adams Street.
Eugene O'Neill.
It was a 4-story
There you go.
basement. Went down 4 stories.
4-story basement.
Basement. Nobody believed me. I've shown hundreds of people that. And the story was, way back when, they had a tunnel that ran down to the Illinois River, and they would bring up ice out of the Illinois River and pack it in sawdust.
Really?
And it was, you get so far down below the surface of the ground, I can't remember how many feet or yards it is. It's a constant,
Well,
is it
actually-
54 degrees, I believe,
Yeah,
isn't it?
once you get down past about 8 to 10 feet, you're hit 50-degree
temperature.
soil temperature, and
And
it's
it stays,
constant.
it stays
yeah.
at that time. It's like 50.
You know, now I understand, because back in those days, when I would have an iced tea, every now and then there'd be straw in it.
You did have to watch for that.
You have
Yeah,
to
you
watch
had
for
to
that.
watch for that,
And a
yeah.
carp.
That's fascinating. I never. Yeah. No, that came later.
Yeah.
Much later.
Yeah.
But it is interesting if you look back in Peoria history, that Peoria Ice Company was. That's where they got their
yeah.
ice.
Virtually every city had that kind of thing going on all through the 1800s, where they would saw ice blocks out of the nearest river, lake, or water pool and store them for people to
Now,
use
back then,
through
the
summer.
Illinois River is a heck of a lot cleaner than what it is today.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't want ice scoops from
that
the
would be-
Illinois
Well,
River
now you
today.
worry about finding an occasional brown carp or brown trout floating around in your
or
ice.
something brown.
Yeah.
It'd be-
But yeah, actually, there's a huge winter festival in China called the Harbin Ice Festival, and what they do is they harvest these huge blocks of ice out of I think it's the Amur River, and build an entire city out of ice blocks.
Really?
And it's up near the Chinese border with Russia. In fact, this city Harbin, if you look at it, it looks very much like what you think of when you think of a Russian city.
Oh, cool.
The little,
Oh, cool. I like that.
the little onion-shaped tops on some of the buildings. But we went to the Harbin Ice Festival a couple of times, and it's absolutely mind-boggling, because they'll do
This is
Yeah,
a
that's
picture
the
of
Ice
Harbin
Festival.
Ice
Wow,
Festival.
that's,
now the lights are
that's chilling.
artificial, of course, but yeah,
But yeah, I mean,
it's, all made out of ice.
Everything out of
everything
ice,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, they have sculptures. They have they'll have one year they had the Palace of
I don't know if
Versailles.
anybody can see that.
Yeah.
But it's
You
a
think
stunning
they-
festival, although
Yeah. Do they have a trivia contest?
it's not that I can remember. But it's 20 below zero. There is like the average temperature.
no.
20 below
Oh,
zero?
it's colder than cold.
jeez.
But-
And you went to it?
Oh yeah, I mean we went to it a couple of times. It was definitely a bucket list thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you can't believe the extent of this whole, because we're talking acres and acres and acres, and well, they have slides, they have
And who builds it? Who do they have build all that?
the Chinese.
yeah.
I mean,
Holy cow.
they get people out there that
Oh,
do
you got
this
it-
every
something
year,
else on there.
and
They call it Dong Bell?
What?
Not the Harbin Ice
Harbin Ice Festival.
Well, there was another.
Oh, you see at the
I
top
don't
there,
know
it
if you
says
go
the Harbin
back.
Ice Festival.
It said something
Yeah.
about Dong Bell.
That might be the city.
That's the guy's name, I think.
nearby
Yeah,
or something. I
Dong
don't know.
Bell.
That's Dong Bell.
Hey, it is 8:03.
I'm guessing that's
And we have break. have breaking news.
Go ahead and take over, Roger.
For the third time, we have breaking news. We have received our first reservation for our trip to Italy.
Oh,
Teresa Barker said,
oh, great.
put in a reservation for us.
Great.
So,
I'll go. I'll drive. I'll go.
Thank you, Teresa. We
Yeah.
got you booked.
yeah. We don't know what we're doing.
Please send in your remittance for your
Yeah.
Get a deposit from her.
Yeah. At any rate,
We need some money to go have breakfast on.
yeah, at Jimmy's Bar. At any rate, the news brought to you by, well, first of all, we need to have a disclaimer according to the FCC. You're listening to Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois. That meets our FCC requirement. And we'll start with the weather, brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates. Sam is an independent insurance broker with over 40 years' experience, known as the Dean of Insurance Folks in Central Illinois. And you can learn more about the services available from Sam Lilly and Associates at 309-245-4374.
Heat advisory until 7 o'clock tonight. Sunny, hot, hot, hot today. 94 degrees. That'll put a heat index with our humidity at 107. Slight possibility of showers. If we don't get any rain today, expect some tonight. And expect a low tonight, about 75. Tomorrow, cloudy, not as hot, high 88. Good chance for rain tomorrow and tomorrow night. Saturday, sunny and hot, high 92. About 50% chance of rain. And Sunday, 94. Next week, the highs will also be about 95. Right now, it's 78 degrees.
Yeah, it's another scorcher, and we'll adjust to it. And now we'll adjust to the news, brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA with Gordon Stockman and Wall. For more than 40 years, Matt has been handling tax returns and other financial matters for individuals and businesses. Here's Matt's phone number, 309-692-4030. With our lead story, Mike Dentino.
Thanks, Roger. Things are hot in the nation's capital, and we're not talking about the weather. The Director of Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has released some 100 documents implicating, she said, former President Barack Obama in the plot to discredit Donald Trump. With the help of whistleblowers, Gabbard said the documents clearly show Obama ignored warnings that so-called evidence connecting Trump with the Russian President Putin were false. Gabbard said Obama suggested creating their own evidence, and that apparently included the Steele dossier, which has proved to be a complete hoax.
A skeptical White House, a skeptical White House News Corporation questioned Gabbard's bombshell report and also challenged comments from the White House spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt. She said many in the press room were among those who promoted the false Russian narrative for 4 years. When asked by a reporter from NBC if Gabbard was accusing Obama of treason, she said, "The Department of Justice will decide criminal implications. One thing is clear," said the former Democratic legislator from Hawaii, "Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election on behalf of Donald Trump."
Gabbard also took to task former intelligence officials John Brennan and James Clapper, Andrew McCabe of the FBI, Susan Rice, and others who were named in the now declassified documents. Director of Intelligence said that a criminal referral has been sent to the Department of Justice, but did not provide any other details.
Columbia University admits it has done a poor job protecting its Jewish students, but denies any wrongdoing. However, they coughed up $221 million in settling a lawsuit against the school for alleged discriminatory practices. The White House called it the largest anti-Semitism settlement in U.S. history. Columbia school officials have agreed to reform.
In the latest media ratings, Fox News has more than 2 million viewers over CNN. Fox even beat NBC, ABC, and CBS. CNN averaged less than 500,000 viewers and was so bad that more people watched the Home and Garden Network. I would say better information on the Home and Garden Network, certainly more useful. CNN did, however, beat Breakfast with Roger and Friends.
Yeah.
But then,
Not by
so
much.
did a couple others.
Not by
Yeah,
much.
but not by much.
In local news, there was a near tragedy in a grain bin in Fulton County. Fulton County authorities say an 85-year-old man was buried by grain up to his neck when rescuers arrived on the scene in the area of Marietta, Illinois. That's a population of about 100 folks here in Illinois. The victim was flown to OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Another worker was also in the grain elevator, but was unharmed.
In police news, 28-year-old Dracar Munoz is going to prison for over 30 years. That was the sentence of Judge Steve Corey. He delivered it to Munoz after he was found guilty of armed robbery and aggravated battery in an incident in 2023 at Parkwood Commons Apartments on Great Oak Road.
Great Oak, by the way, is not far from the Kroger store on Sterling at Forest Hill. Scheduled to close next month, store officials couldn't wait. Unsuspecting customers learned the doors closed yesterday. It's gone. It's history. The closest grocery store for that part of the city is now Aldi's on North University, which isn't a bad deal. They've got, you can get a grocery cart there for $0.25.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I walked in and said, "Where are your grocery carts?" And they said, "Over there." And some woman, very nice lady, could see that I was confused and said, "You have to put a quarter, but you get your quarter back."
You do.
Is that true?
Right.
You do.
Yes, you do.
And sometimes, some people, regulars, I guess, they have a quarter in their car for the Aldi's cart. And my brother is an idiot. He didn't realize, he didn't know the story. So he gets there and he gets out of his car and some guys says, would you like my cart? You know,
Yeah, sure.
and then you give the guy a quarter, right? And he said, I give you my cart for the quarter. And my brother says, I give you 20 cents. And not knowing, and the guy goes, okay.
Really?
Yes. Yeah. He didn't know what the quarter, he said, I give you my cart for a quarter. He said, how about 20 cents?
Now, I have, before we continue this
Yes.
earth-breaking newscast for you, what do? I bought a small watermelon, $3.87. You can buy the larger one, but I wasn't wearing my hernia belt, so I didn't get the larger one. And I get it home, and I open it up and start slicing up, and it turns out it wasn't very good. Now, what do you do at that point? Seriously.
Well, throw it away. I mean,
Yes.
I know.
That's
Whether you
what I
take
did.
it back or not, that's the
No.
question.
Yeah, that's the question, yeah. How many people will take the time to take, and this is a small watermelon.
Yeah.
If it was
and you
if
put
it was
it in a
rotten,
plastic.
if it was rotten or
No, it
had
wasn't
mold or
rotten,
something,
it just was overripe.
if it just was, then you should have thumped it
Yeah.
before you brought it home. You should have thumped
A
it.
little dinky thing
You thump
Yeah.
them. You got to thump them.
I come from a long line of watermelon
of thumpers.
Yeah.
What do you, how can you tell by thumping? Is there a certain sound?
Oh, I don't know. I just do it.
Okay.
It's-
You look like in the store
I
you're
look
doing.
like I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I thought when I was looking at it, I wanted to call Dr. Sidler and say, "Can I borrow your stethoscope?" And thought maybe if I thumped it with my, in the ears, you could get a particular
Or
sound.
you could plunge a little. What do they call that they plunge in?
plug.
You could take a little plug out.
You
and
know
test
what?
it,
They
but
used
I
to
don't-
do that. You can't do that anymore.
Well,
They
you
get un-
can't
they're
do
very
that.
unhappy if you cut
No, you
open a
can't do
watermelon.
that.
in the
and
store.
say, "No, I don't want this."
If it's not moldy, my opinion, if it's not moldy or if it doesn't smell bad or something, if it just doesn't taste as sweet as it should, I think that's the luck of the draw. I would not
I
personally
think
take
you're
it
right.
back. I
Well,
wouldn't
that's
take it
what I
back.
did.
I
I
personally
said,
would.
"I'm not going to put this in a plastic
I'd give it to
bag
the neighbors or
and-
something.
and
Put it
give
on a nice platter and give it to the neighbors.
No.
Well, I need something.
Well, no, see, if you thump a watermelon,
Yeah.
it should have a nice, hollow, woody sound when you thump it.
Yeah.
And
You're talking about
Yes, this
Terry's
is true.
head?
No,
or
no,
this
watermelon.
watermelon?
No, that's
well, I mean, you might thump your head and
Yeah.
have a similar sound.
similar sound, but
Empty.
Oh,
Mine would be empty. Well, I
No, that's
I
true.
brought it up
You
because
thumped your
how many
watermelons,
how many
Doctor?
times? How many
No.
times?
No, I just
You just
kinda
hope that you're
sort of
getting
weigh
a good.
them in my hands.
I was told if when you buy a watermelon, you want one that has yellow at the bottom.
Yeah, it's called a field spot.
Oh, is that what it's called?
It should be, depending on how big the watermelon is, it should be somewhere between the size of a tennis ball and a softball. But the field spot is where the watermelon is resting on the ground.
Yes.
And that should be nice and yellow, and the rest of it should be green and with dark green veins all over it. That's how you know.
Something you can't do. You can't thump your field spot in public.
Okay. I knew somehow
going straight
we
downhill,
were
yeah.
eventually going to go down the toilet again. But anyway,
Well, that's what
now
I've
my
heard.
final question before we continue with this award-winning newscast is how many times have you had when you got home fruit and it turns out it wasn't good that you took it back?
Oh, I just pitch it.
Yeah, you're right.
It just isn't.
And they know that in the store.
I took some shrimp back just not too long ago.
Well, shrimp I could understand.
I tell you, it was. I opened it up and it was, oh my gosh, and I took it back to.
But I'm talking about fruit, like watermelon, cantaloupe.
No, because I look at it
blackberries,
first. Now, cantaloupe you can
strawberries.
smell. Cantaloupe,
Yeah.
you can smell whether it's good or not.
You can?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, cantaloupe. Plus, if you feel soft spots.
Well,
cantaloupe
that, yeah,
honeydew melon,
that part on cantaloupe, if you
Yeah.
feel sauce, don't get it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But on the other hand, you wind up with one that's not ripe, but still needs
Well, but you
some
can.
seasoning.
They'll ripen a little bit. Same thing with dew melons.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Dew
the
melons?
heart-
Is that like a do rag?
No.
Is your
It's
dew
a
melon
little-
wearing a do rag?
No, it's a dew. It's a. It's no. It's a
Have
real
we done
sweet.
the news?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, we're done.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
then,
done with
all
the
right.
news.
I lost track. there.
Avocados. That's the tough one.
Did
Oh,
they
yeah.
do, Gene? Did they
I
do the
did not
news?
do my sports.
No, I know you have done, but we're
Avocados
done.
are the tough one.
Avocado.
Even more important, we have not done your history question.
There was a reason for that, and we'll explain that
Really?
in
I
a little
mean, we
bit.
need a win.
Well,
for
Yeah,
the
we need a
trivia.
feel good about.
The reason I didn't is because I know you all are depressed because of the big failure of your team.
jeez.
But
You don't have
if
to put
I
it-
ask the history question, you're going to go on medication because you're not going to get
you
it.
sure?
But you know what? I'm as sure as my
I
name
know- I
is
know a little
Hans
history.
and Gretel.
I got to get on medication before I get here. Are you kidding me?
I know. At any rate, let's see what WCBU has to say now that they have lost their federal funding.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. The city of Peoria and Peoria County are getting close to $1.4 million in state funding to put toward the Greater Peoria Auto Crimes Task Force. The continuation grant was originally awarded by the state in 2023 to form the multi-jurisdictional investigative and prosecutorial unit. Peoria Police Chief Eric Echevarria says the task force is producing results.
Our motor vehicle thefts have gone down by almost 50% since from 2024 to 25.
The city council voted unanimously to accept this year's award. A 48-year-old Pekin woman has been arrested for allegedly attempting to have someone killed. Pekin police say Allison Salinas was taken into custody Tuesday following a 2-week investigation into a solicitation of murder. Pekin Police Chief Seth Ranney says his department worked with other agencies on the case, including the FBI's Springfield office. The case has been turned over to the state's attorney's office. Central Illinois Congressman Eric Sorensen is calling for an investigation into the government's response to the floods in Texas that killed more than 130 people.
I do have questions as to how there was such a gap between the dire reports that they were giving out and then those folks, and especially those children who died. Why didn't it make it to them?
Sorensen says he wants to know if staff shortages, stalled forecasting improvements, or a lack of flood preparedness may have contributed to the deaths. And a team of Washington city leaders will assist a hired consultant in recruiting a new city administrator. The city council this week approved the plan to have 2 administrative staffers and Mayor Lilia Stevens work in conjunction with Jim Arndt of Arndt Municipal Support to save $4,000 on the contract. 2 members voted against the proposal, saying the savings weren't enough and the staff may have a bias toward an internal candidate. Alderperson Bobby Martin III said that was an unprofessional assumption.
Everything in here that I see that we'd have Team Washington do, I would have assumed we would have done anyway.
The team's duties will include developing promotional recruitment materials and performing routine social media searches of candidates. I'm Ben Howell.
Thank you, Ben. I want to update Eric Sorensen. I don't know about the rest of you, but when President Trump went to Texas, he held a news conference that featured all of the people in charge of various agencies regarding the flooding and FEMA, of the Weather Bureau, et cetera, and so forth. I sat through the entire news conference and listened to these people who gave specific details. The things that Eric Sorensen they quoted on, and he was quoted on that newscast, all those questions that he said he wanted the answers for were given during that news conference. Mr. Sorensen, you need to get yourself up to date on what has happened and was at this news conference. And you don't have to call for an investigation, but it does make news on NPR as usual. Now with sports unedited, here's Dr. Gene Sitter, brought to you by BradleyFans.com.
Thank you, Roger. Some baseball scores. Chicago Cubs lost to the Kansas City Royals 8-4, losing 2 of the 3 games in that series. The Cubs now drop a half a game behind the Milwaukee Brewers again in the National League Central Division. There's still about 60 games to go in the season. They can get back into it. The Milwaukee Brewers did win last night, so they pulled ahead. The Cubs are off today, though, and they'll play the White Sox tomorrow night and Saturday and Sunday. The St. Louis Cardinals lost the Colorado Rockies 6-0 yesterday afternoon. The Cardinals lost 2 of 3 games in that series to the woeful Colorado Rockies. They now have lost 5 of their last 6 games and have dropped 9 games behind the Brewers in that National League Central Division. Cardinals head back home. They'll play the first of a 4-game series against the San Diego Padres tonight in Busch Stadium. Chicago White Sox beat the Tampa Bay Rays 11-9 last night. The White Sox took 2 of 3 from the Rays. They've won 5 of 6 since the All-Star break and have scored 49 runs in those 6 games. A huge outburst for the White Sox, who have had trouble scoring this year. They are off today and host the Cubs for weekend series starting Friday night. And the Peoria Chiefs lost to the West Michigan Whitecaps 9-4. The Chiefs in 5th place in the Western Division of the Midwest League with an 11-15 record. The 2025 Tour de France wraps up this weekend. The leader is Tadej Pogačar of Slovenia. He continues to lead the overall race by more than 4 minutes now over the second-place rider Jonas Vingegaard of Denmark. Almost certain to be the winner, barring a fall or injury. There are 4 more stages to go, including one that is taken off this morning, Stage 18, that continues in the French Alps. And the U.S. Olympic Committee made news this week, updating its policies regarding eligibility, and it has banned transgender women from competing in women's sports in line with the presidential executive action. And the International Olympic Committee, however, does not appear to be planning to change their stance. They defer to the decisions by each sports governing body. And this year, the only 3 that have made a similar change have been the governing bodies for swimming, track and field, and cycling. They've banned athletes who were born male and went through male puberty. I expect other...
Will the rest all come on board, do you think?
I expect others will. Will all of them? I don't know. And they'll have maybe some subtle variations in their criteria, throwing in numbers like testosterone level measurements and at what age
that?
the transition occurred and
That's a blood
those kinds
Is
of
it a blood
things.
test?
Yeah.
Testosterone
Yes.
level? Okay.
Yes, that would be a blood test. There were a couple of these organizations that at one time required surgical removal of sex organs in order to compete in.
What do you got to bring them in a jar and show them, or what do you
An
do you
exam
do?
would usually tell that.
Well, yeah, that would too. That'd work too.
I think a physical would do that.
Well, I guess that
No
would,
wonder you
yeah.
flunked medical school.
Well, I mean, there's
yeah.
But that seems a little bit harsh and
Right.
Yes, I would say that's
they
harsh.
backed
Yeah,
off on that. Now,
it's also
now they're trying to
painful.
get a little bit more scientific. Basically, I don't even at the very earliest transition, and there are people now transitioning, or kids starting at age 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's tragic.
But I think even at that early age, there are genetic differences between male and female, not just in the level of sexual hormones.
Sure.
There's differences in muscular structure and bone structure, especially bone structure, that continue throughout life, even if you go on hormone blockers and hormone substitution as early as that prepubertal age group. So I really don't think there's any criteria in terms of hormone levels and what age you started transitioning that would mitigate your advantage in
Because
biological
your
males
skeletal,
competing
muscular,
with women.
and things are
Yeah,
going to remain the same.
they are all going to have a favorable advantage. There was a runner from South Africa, Castor Semenya was his name, her name.
Castor?
Yeah, Castor.
Great first name.
Like the Greek
Like
twins
the
raised by
castration.
the roof, the wolf. That was born with some kind of testosterone insensitivity. In other words, he was a biological male, but the testosterone did not produce sexual characteristics of a male.
Okay.
And that is there's a syndrome that causes that.
Okay.
The receptors on the cells of the body, every cell in the body just doesn't recognize the testosterone. So they continue to appear to be physically feminine, even though they're male.
Okay.
And this woman competed against women and was very successful, winning races. Later was found to be biologically XY male. She still obviously had an advantage because
Right.
of the genetic difference in being an XY male.
How do you check the chromosomes? How do you, what's the
Well, you can do a
test for that?
chromosomal analysis.
What do they take? Blood for that?
No,
or
you
what do
take it from you swab on the inside of the cheek, mucous membrane cells. You can do it with a blood test as well, just like the 23andMe type
Right, right.
groups
Yeah.
that you can do your chromosome analysis by sending in a specimen. Some of them all you do is spit in a bottle
I
and
thought they
send
just
it.
looked for relatives. I didn't know they.
What's that?
The 23andMe. I thought they looked for relatives. I didn't
Well,
know
that's
they.
not the only
I
thing
didn't know
they
they told
do.
you if you were a guy or a gal.
You
I didn't-
can
Well-
pay extra and get biologic testing that will
Oh.
tell you if you are prone to genetic diseases
Are you
Right.
confused?
and so
No,
forth.
I'm not confused at all.
Yeah, they have different levels of
confused
genetic
at all.
analysis.
We'll help you out.
No, I'm not confused.
Didn't South Africa have another female athlete that they were wondering about a few years ago, a long-distance runner by the name of Zola Budd?
Well, Zola Budd was a female.
Yeah,
didn't
she was a
compete
female,
against-
but I think there was some question.
It was Willett. His
No,
first name
she
was
was a
Willett.
tiny little.
Yeah, she was a tiny little thing, but I think that
I don't remember
chromosomally there was some issue as to
Yes.
whether or not no, it wasn't that whether she was male. She was, I think, certainly born female, but she had very high levels of testosterone.
This is Castor Semenya.
Oh yeah, I mean,
The female runner who was, like I say, a
Whoa.
biological male,
Oh,
but
that's right.
He'd be a big dude.
yeah.
yeah, it was a very big, strong, muscular runner and very dominant in competition.
Isn't there something emotionally, mentally unstable for guys who compete in women's sports and they win and they take home a trophy knowing that they basically cheated? I mean, how do you reconcile those feelings?
I don't think, ask this Leah Thomas swimmer at University of Pennsylvania if he or she feels that he's cheated. No, they don't. They feel like this is their rightful
Way of
prize to
They
win
think
a
they're-
national
They think there's somebody
championship.
different.
Remember, one of the earliest trans athletes was Renee Richards, a tennis
Yes, I
player
do
Yeah.
who
remember.
was
I
a
remember.
male ophthalmologist, but at the age of like 45 or something underwent a transition and became a female and never really dominated in the female tennis circuit, but still won some tournaments and
Right.
had some significant success. the guy was a big, tall, lanky, strong man, basically looking like a woman. So,
Well, but he got no traction in professional or in competitive tennis as a man, and only slight traction as a woman. So it's like from personal experience, my dentist in Raleigh transitioned from a man to a woman in his early 50s, and my thing was, hey, he was a small man to begin with, and my criteria for picking dentists is like, well, how big are your hands? I want a dentist with small hands just because it's easier
So
on
did
me.
you go to him?
Same with me for proctologists.
Yeah, I mean,
and for a prostate check.
yes. As far as
Same
I was
deal.
concerned, his skills as a dentist didn't matter whether he was male or female. So
As long as he was good.
yeah, he was an ex.
Well, I think that's the way you should look at it.
Right.
I don't care. You do what you want to do,
I don't
and
care about
whatever
somebody's
brings you
sexuality.
happiness is your business, as far as I'm concerned.
I don't care about anybody else's sexuality.
Right. All right. Where are we now? Are you done
Well,
with
I
sports?
am finished with the sports, and we are ready for our impossible question.
All right.
We got to nail this. Go ahead, cheat if you can. Just anything.
Okay. Well,
What do you want to do, Roger?
well, we want to add a little.
What's on the
buffer,
schedule?
something light and airy that.
This might be
And now, ladies and gentlemen, on this Thursday morning, we go to This Day in History, brought to you by BradleyFans.com.
If Terry Chamberlain is listening, you can text me the answer, Terry.
Terry.
No, don't look it up, but see if Terry.
No, look it up. Cheat. We need a win.
Look up what?
Well, Terry might help us out if she's listening.
All right, the date, of course, is July 24th, and here's the year. This is what I'm concerned about, how well you're going to do. The year 1651. What happened?
Was it in the U.S. or was it in?
Yes,
North,
it was in
because
the
there was
United-
no U.S. yet.
Yeah.
It was in America.
North America,
Yes,
yeah.
it was in America.
Does it have to do with one of the colonies?
A discovery?
no.
Was it a discovery thing?
No.
Does it have to do with an Indian scout named Sacagawea?
Oh, it's too
no.
early.
That's very good.
Does it have anything to do with Ponce de Leon?
No.
No. So it wasn't someone finding the fountain of youth.
No.
Well, maybe we do need at least a little.
Do we need a location? Would a location help us at all?
It might, and I'll tell you it happened in Virginia.
Virginia.
Oh, the Roanoke colony?
No.
No, okay.
And I'll give you another clue because I can see your.
Is this an Indian thing? Does it have something to do with Native Americans?
No, it didn't have to do anything to do with Native Americans. It had to do with a person, and ethnicity might be helpful.
A white guy?
Wrong gender. Not gender. Wrong.
Okay.
Wrong race?
Wrong race.
Yes.
So not
But
Indian?
gender is important as well.
Not Indian.
No, I said that earlier.
Yeah. So a black person,
Yes.
a black female.
No, wrong gender.
So that only leaves black male.
Well, not necessarily, but yeah.
Well, yeah.
Was it a slave?
Yes. Mhm.
Oh.
Was it the first black slave?
Wasn't the first black slave, but it was a first of a black.
First black slave owner?
It might be, but the wrong category. It's first black something, but not slave owner. Although, interestingly, he became a
First
black slave owner.
African property owner.
That is correct.
Okay.
Wow, nice.
That was my next guess.
But now wait a minute. You don't. You don't have the answer.
We want his
He was a
name?
freed slave.
You need to give me his name.
Jimmy.
Jimmy is the Spears was
Jimmy.
not around.
They wrote a song about him, Jimmy Crack.
Yeah, that's
Jimmy
right.
Hancock.
That was the first drug reference in a song.
Is it a name that
You're laughing.
Will we know
and
this
you're
name?
joking.
Do you
It's
think we
not
would know this
settling
name?
well
Yeah,
with
will
that
will
class.
we know this name? Is this a
Well,
familiar?
once we give it to you, yeah.
I mean, before that.
would you have recognized this name?
Yeah. Did you know this
no,
name?
No, not at all.
No clue? Oh, well then,
Okay.
how are we gonna know?
Our weather guy just
How about
gave it.
initials? Can you give us his initials?
AJ.
That would be Alfred
No,
Jackson.
incorrect.
Abraham.
Incorrect.
Aloysius.
Good morning.
Anthony?
Kyle of Arnold, Mr. Weather.
How are you? Good morning.
Anthony is right for the
Nice name.
first name.
Now,
First,
the
that was his
black
first name.
property
Jackson.
owner
Jefferson.
in Virginia in 1651.
1651. So
was his name?
he comes in and right away sweeps away. You weren't invited, were you, to be on
I'm
the
sorry.
trivia?
No, I wasn't. Not on Thursdays.
Okay.
Well, we did usually a Friday guy. Good morning, everyone. It's Thursday. I promise.
We didn't know that you would. Actually, we were afraid you'd come.
Oh,
I mean, no, that's not.
But my
true.
wife says.
That's not.
All right, children, what's the last name? Okay, I'll help you out.
Oh, wait. You want the
Same
last
last-
name?
yeah.
Freeman.
Incorrect.
Well, one of our viewers, your brother Tim,
Oh.
has given the answer, but I have a suspicion he looked it up.
He cheated. I guarantee he cheated.
Okay, well,
You would know.
Because he actually
Well,
gives us the exact amount of property.
you-
in
Whoa,
The
that guy's
The
good.
guy's an idiot. He
you,
cheated.
Who is it?
Thank
I
you,
want to know
Tim,
who it is
but-
now.
My brother.
Oh.
you're disqualified.
Yeah,
You're
we'll
disqualified.
disqualify
Tim,
your
right.
All
answer.
right,
Yeah,
now I'll
you
let
promised
you
not.
give
You
a clue
cheat.
to your colleagues.
It's a name that he would have certainly gotten from his slave owner, and it's one of the most populous names in the country today.
I'll give another clue.
Jones?
Johnson.
It is,
That's along that line, but
All
it's
right.
not Jones, and it's not Smith.
It's not Johnson.
it is Johnson.
Okay.
Oh, that's a very common name amongst
You know, he
African-Americans.
comes in,
I'm sorry.
and see, this is why you did a
apologize.
bad job
All right.
recruiting. He walks in, gets the first name, then after
Well, that was a
something,
guess.
he gets the second name, and you guys sit
All
here
right.
with your nose up
Well,
your.
Well, we're like
They've
bumps
been
on a
here
log.
for 2.5 hours.
We'll
They've
open
been-
it up to anybody who wants to be in our trivia team next time we play can come. There, is that
Oh
good
yeah,
enough?
how'd it go Tuesday night? How did it go, Jimmy?
I had to
Let's
ask.
get
I'm
your brother
sorry.
Tim on
They
our-
flopped.
I forgot all about that.
Get your brother Tim and have him figure out a
Yeah,
a
yeah,
covert
he can
way
help
of
us cheat.
cheating.
Yeah.
It'll involve earbuds and a supercomputer.
So it didn't go as well as we hoped.
Well, we didn't come in first.
All
They
right,
didn't cover themselves in glory. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's one way. They didn't come in second. They didn't even come in 10th.
We
Well,
went
it was a
over
good
some of the
fundraiser.
questions, and you might actually do better than we would because the questions were about Ireland, they were about whiskey, they were about
whiskey,
Jimmy's
Irish
bar,
whiskey?
history of Jimmy's
I'd be
bar.
good on that
What's
one.
the second most popular Irish whiskey?
Irish whiskey? Tullamore Dew.
How did we not know that?
Oh my gosh.
Well, it's Irish whiskey. You got Bushmills.
Who's the president? Who's the current president of Ireland?
Oh my goodness. Hang on now. This is a tough one because it just changed.
Oh no, it hasn't. He's been the president since 2011.
Never mind. I'm thinking of a different country. I have no idea then. So,
Well, see, at least you're honest. You right away. You say
Yeah.
I don't have the.
We said that all night long.
What?
I have no idea.
But no, but it was a good fundraiser. I'm glad you guys went to support Mr. Spears and Jimmy's. And,
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, you bet. All right, Kyle is here to talk
Michael
about.
Higgins is his name.
Higgins.
Michael Higgins.
All right, can we go ahead and do the news?
Roger, it's your show. Go ahead.
Well,
Kind of a goofy looking.
Miss Tim
I
wants
know you
to
don't feel that way.
I don't. I thought that at the beginning.
That was the intention when I came in.
All right, let's get into the news this morning. Brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. They've been helping folks now for, my goodness, since 1993. And you can learn more about the availability of Spoon River to help your loved one. They do have a staff of nurses, therapists, and home care assistants. Their phone number, They're open 24/7 at 309-245-0723. Here's Mike Dentino.
Thanks, Roger. The Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has released some 100 documents implicating former President Barack Obama in the plot to discredit Donald Trump. With the help of whistleblowers, Gabbard said the documents clearly show that Obama ignored warnings that so-called evidence connecting Trump with Russian President Putin were false. Gabbard said Obama suggested creating their own evidence, and that apparently included the Steele dossier, which proved to be a complete hoax. The White House news reporters questioned Gabbard's bombshell report and challenged comments from White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt. She said many times, many in the press room were among those who promoted the false Russian narrative for 4 years. When asked by a reporter from NBC if Gabbard was accusing Obama of treason, she said the Department of Justice will decide criminal implications. One thing is clear, said the former Democrat legislator from Hawaii, Russia did not interfere in the 2016 election on behalf of Donald Trump. Gabbard also took to task former intelligence officials John Brennan and James Clapper, Andrew McCabe of the FBI, Susan Rice, and others who were named in the now declassified documents. The Director of Intelligence said a criminal referral has been sent to the Department of Justice, but did not provide any other details. Columbia University admits that it has done a poor job protecting its Jewish students, but denies any wrongdoing. However, they coughed up $221 million in settling a lawsuit against the school for alleged discriminatory practices. The White House called it the largest anti-Semitism settlement in U.S. history. In the latest media ratings, Fox News has more than 2 million viewers over CNN. Fox even beat NBC, ABC, and CBS. CNN averaged less than 500,000 viewers and was so bad that more people watched the Home and Garden Network. In local news, there was a near tragedy in a grain bin in Fulton County. Fulton County authorities say an 85-year-old man was buried by grain up to his neck when rescuers arrived on the scene in the area of Marietta, Illinois. Population about 100. The victim was flown to OSF St. Francis Medical Center. Another worker was also in the grain elevator but was unharmed. In police news, 28-year-old Dracar Munoz is going to prison for 30 years. That was the sentence that Judge Steve Curry handed down to Munoz after he was found guilty of armed robbery and aggravated battery in an incident in 2023 at Parkwood Commons Apartments on Great Oak Road. Great Oak Road, by the way, is not far from the Kroger store on Sterling at Forest Hill. Scheduled to close next month, the store officials couldn't wait. Unsuspecting customers learned that the doors closed yesterday. It's gone. Now the closest grocery store for that part of the city is Aldi's on North University. And Roger, that's it for news at the bottom of the hour.
All right, now a check of the weather brought to you by your hometown Community Banks division, Morton Community Bank. They have 46 convenient, friendly hometown locations throughout central Illinois. Look for the clock tower, and you'll know they have time for you. Member FDIC.
Roger, Mr. Weather's here, but as far as we know, for right now, there's a heat advisory until 7 p.m. this evening. And I know you love this stuff, don't you? This is right down, yeah, we all hate it.
Especially the storms. Yeah, no, I'm not a fan of the heat by any means.
The heat and humidity, 94 today, heat index about 107.
Yeah, probably 110.
Ah, jeez, a little chance for showers. And I saw a big line of showers over in Des Moines.
Yes.
And that's coming this way.
Well, no, so it's on an outflow, and the outflow is currently caving across eastern Iowa. So if we do see anything, we'll see probably more scattered cloud cover later this morning into the early afternoon hours. You
Maybe a
might
little
see
chance for rain?
maybe a scattered shower with that. I think.
Popcorn shower, maybe?
Well, not even a popcorn shower, just a dying, decaying shower. But I do think we will see a good amount of instability later this evening and some storms fire up. Maybe some little clusters of storms.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd say between 5 and 8 p.m. Maybe a little bit earlier.
Later today.
Today, yeah, yep, tonight.
Really?
Tonight, this
Well,
evening,
about
tonight,
75, which will seem kind of chilly.
yep. Not really, but
Tomorrow cloudy and hot. High just 88 tomorrow.
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Because
And then
of
a good
cold
chance for
outflow.
rain because we're going to change.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up.
thank you.
The rain chances, actually, I think tomorrow, I think we'll see a lot of the activity overnight tonight and this evening. I think the rain chances tomorrow will be more so to the south of us. We might see some thunderstorms develop after 4 o'clock in
far
our
south?
area tomorrow.
Springfield-ish?
Yeah, south of Springfield between 72 and 70, I think is a better chance as that frontal boundary moves to the south of us. Now, I do think that boundary, that outflow will come back north on Saturday morning, and we'll have a better chance.
Saturday
of the storm
says
returning.
sunny and hot, 92. 90 for Saturday.
Yeah, I think we'll hit 90 for sure on
90,
Saturday,
okay.
but
It's about a 50-50 chance for rain.
I would put storms in the forecast on your Saturday forecast.
Yeah, we do. I got a 50%
Oh,
chance.
good. Okay, good. Yes,
50.
yes, that's accurate.
All right,
Absolutely.
Sunday, 94.
Yeah, and it's going to
little
feel
hot.
like 105.
Ah, jeez.
the humidity
and
creeps
then,
back in.
all the way up till Tuesday will be in the 90s.
Yeah, so Monday and Tuesday,
That rain on Sunday or
Saturday.
Saturday is
Yeah.
not going to chop that hot weather?
No, actually, so with that rain coming back on Friday, it's actually going to be along that frontal boundary, which moves back to the north of us on Sunday. So now we're back in that ring of fire, that warm, humid, moist
And
air.
the mugginess.
And
yeah.
then the mugginess returns on Sunday into Monday and Tuesday. And I wouldn't be surprised if the National Weather Service issues a heat advisory for maybe Sunday, but definitely Monday and Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
Maybe a heat warning. I
With
think
us
our
for
hot
a little
days
bit longer.
Yeah.
will be Monday
Yeah,
and
we might.
Tuesday. But
Hasn't been that bad. I've been comfortable. You've been comfortable at
No,
home?
no.
Oh,
I make a nice living.
That's good. That's good.
Anyway, you know, I want to commend you. You're not only a jolly fellow and full of
Terry.
vim,
Thank you.
vigor, and you know what else is. I now look at clouds differently
Good.
than I ever. As a matter of fact, I look at clouds, and it's amazing the formations that you
beautiful.
can read at or describe or see in the formation of clouds.
I saw a little like teddy bear the other
Yeah,
day.
the other day we saw a dog.
Yeah.
With, you know, it's
What does
just
that mean?
It's almost what it means is the Lord works in wonderful
Let
ways.
the Creator paint His canvas.
Yeah,
does it
well said.
Thank
I
you,
like
thank you,
that.
thank you.
Very good. We've heard of Van Gogh. This is Van Barnum, for that matter. Hey, we want to talk about A Taste of St. Mark.
Oh, you want to talk about that again? Okay.
Unless you want to continue
this
with
weekend?
weather.
I want to continue more with some weather, if that's
Okay,
okay.
we
Just
don't.
not
Right
with
ahead.
Thursday.
No, we don't.
No,
It's
no,
not
no.
in
No,
muggy,
no. I really
crummy.
want to talk about tonight's setup. Atmospheric setup. I'm
quickly,
really
because it's just
excited
crappy.
to be here on a Thursday with you fine gentlemen.
Okay.
There's no female presence here on Thursdays, is there?
No, we give her a day off.
Oh, God
She
bless
has-
you.
she
Okay.
has to
She would have
get
got the answer to the quiz
get
too. if she was here.
medication.
Well, she was with us. She didn't do that well.
She was with you on Tuesday night too.
Yeah, she was.
She let you down? She's
I
just
picked an
Jeopardy?
A. I picked an
I
A
think they
team.
let each other down.
They didn't bring their A game. It's not my fault. I picked them.
All right. Did you guys have a few drinks
they
to
just
at
did-
least get
No,
loosened
we
up?
really
Oh,
weren't,
well, that was probably what the case
Yeah.
was. I'm sure.
I mean, I had a Guinness, and I think
Have a
no,
nice
you had a
pint.
Coke.
Terry
Uh,
had a Guinness. And
Terry had a
Ed
shot
and
of
I
something.
had
She
a
was
Coke.
slamming shots. I
Oh
don't
yeah, they had some kind of.
Oh, she was.
I just
There
want
was
to
some
remind
kind of
everybody
specialty,
we still have a pet
thing.
tip of the day. So
Oh, I apologize. I'll get back to- I'm
not,
sorry.
Try not to meander.
I'm
off
sorry.
the
I'm sorry.
plantation
But thank you,
here.
Mr. Spears,
Yeah.
for hosting. But no, yeah. So tonight's setup, because of those storms, because it's a short ridge trough. I do expect that short ridge trough, although it's weak, it will be a trigger. And because we have so much water available, so much energy available, particularly in the mid and lowest levels of the atmosphere, which you feel when you step outside, you feel that humidity.
Oh, you bet
We
you
have
do,
roughly 2
yeah.
to 2.5
That's
inches
terrible.
of precipitable water available in the mid levels. So we just need a weak trigger, and I think the shortwave trough will do the trick. Primarily after 4 o'clock, I see storms firing between, I would say, I-80 and 136. So north to south. I think it starts in Iowa, but I wouldn't be surprised after the initial wave of storms. So you have these multi-cluster storms. If we see maybe some training effect, and by training I mean storm after storm after storm in the same localized area.
really?
So I think potentially flash flooding is a concern, especially localized.
What time? What
later
time
this
are we
evening.
talking?
Well, so I think for
Overnight?
the first event will be between, I believe, 4 and probably 8 p.m.
Oh,
for
even
us.
okay, before we hit the sack, so we can
Before you hit the sack,
prepare
absolutely.
for it.
Yep.
Maybe.
And then the overnight hours, we're actually looking at potential nocturnal inversion, which is very rare this time
What
of
does
year.
that mean?
So nocturnal inversion is essentially a pocket. It's an atmospheric river, and it just continues to generate storm after storm after storm in a localized area. And with that, 2 to 3 inches of rainfall is very possible in, say, Fulton County, and say Peoria County, and Tazewell County, wherever those storms really set up. That's where we're going to be. That's where I'll be paying attention to, especially after the 10 o'clock hour, to see where that training effect might take place. And again, we need the rainfall, but that much rainfall in such a short period of time, now we have a flash flooding concern.
Yeah.
That's really
And that
what I
water
wanted to get
runs
to.
off.
Correct.
Doesn't absorb for
Correct.
some time.
Yeah, especially in such a quick period of time. Absolutely.
I will say, and this is curbside appeal, with a city view of things, the corn and beans
Look
in my
phenomenal.
area look
Oh,
wonderful.
they look phenomenal right now. No, and they'll continue to look phenomenal as long as we get these timely rains. And then now, as we head into August, and that's the one last thing I want to talk before you get to your pet tip of the day, we're looking at a significant cool down coming next, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, which is great for the
Really?
St. Jude run. Yeah.
Praise the
Oh,
Lord.
it's gonna be amazing. We have drier air, we have cooler air moving in. We're only looking at highs around 80 next Thursday, and then low 80s Friday and Saturday and Sunday
Terrific.
as we start into August. So that cool weather will help as well, because right now we have the evapotranspiration process has already started with cornfields, which is corn sweat, essentially. The corn gets too hot, and then it literally sweats off moisture
Yeah.
during the day, and you have these little microclimates where if you're near a cornfield, the temperature's 10, even 12, 15 degrees higher than what the heat index would indicate. So that's something we need to look at as well. But no, the cool return, the timely rains, really a blessing in many disguises.
All right, you want to transition to the Taste of St. Mark's?
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. Taste of St. Mark's coming up Saturday, August 9th.
This,
It is
August 9th.
August
Okay.
9th. Saturday, August 9th.
So we're a
yep.
couple of
So
weeks
next
away.
Saturday is St. Jude, and then Saturday, August 9th is Taste of St. Mark. It's an event I'm very proud of. We do it Men's Club with the PSA, the Parish School Association. It's really gotten quite big, especially now that the Taste of Peoria, Pace no longer does the Taste of Peoria. So now people come to the West Bluff and the Beacon on the Hilltop. It is open to everyone. It is really, really affordable, $15 a person, which I think is a steal because I wanted $20 a person, but I lost that battle.
And
we
less,
talked about that on
less
Monday.
for kids, right?
Huh?
The kids' price is, I think, 10 or 5 or something. Like
No, that is something we changed. Kids' prices are still $15 a person because they eat a lot of food too. But there is a
Some
family.
more than
there is
people my age.
But the family price is $40 a family.
For what's a family? 4, 5, 6, 10?
Yeah, once you get 3 people, you say you're a family. I don't even care if you are.
Well,
not
up
related.
to that many.
Good thing they didn't have it.
There is no limit.
The Tino shows up.
Well,
12 people. in
That's
this
our
family.
downside. There's no limit. So you get the Dwyers, you get the Hoods show up, you get
Yeah.
the Williams family show up, you
You've
get
been
the
eating
Johnson
out of
family
house and
show
home.
up. Yeah, I mean you get the Gallaghers show up. They're literally 12 people.
Now,
in
what
the
are,
family.
what are some of the food vendors that will be appearing?
Yes. So Kenny's West Side. So a lot of West Peoria-based businesses, West Bluff-based businesses.
Pizza Company?
Pizza Inn, Harold's Pizza Inn over on Sterling. Bloody Mary brunch location. That's a new vendor this year. Country Club Barbecue. They have these really, really well. They have really good cornbread too, but they have a really tasty.
And then individuals sell stuff too, right?
Yeah. So, and then we have families at St. Mark's that like to bring their food. So we have a Filipino family that makes
Oh,
Filipino
really?
desserts.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have
And that's part of the
a couple of Hispanic
$10?
families. Yep, that's part of the $15.
Maybe
$15 a
we
person
should
or
take
40 a family.
breakfast. Breakfast of
Um,
Roger, would you like?
If you will have to bring money for beverages. So water
Well, that makes
is
sense.
available, bottled water is available, but soda is $1, and then beers are different prices as well. We have margaritas, blue margaritas. They make a phenomenal margarita that they serve. And that is $5. And then we have a Michelada, the Carmona family, Councilman Carmona, Alex and his wife Chelsea. They make this festival signature drink, Michelada, which is like Bud Light and like tomato juice and a bunch of other ingredients, but it's phenomenal. It's very, very good. And
You've sampled it.
yeah, I sampled it many times. They're delicious.
Wonder why your eyeballs are certain.
But no, and then
it's what are the hours again?
it's from 5:30 to 10 at St. Mark's School there in the Blacktop, if the weather permits.
Yeah, tell
we have
everybody where St. Mark's School.
So it's at the corner of Underhill and Bradley Avenue.
Okay.
Yep.
And
so
the
right by
hours
Bradley
again
University. 5:30 to 10. It is a fundraiser for the school.
Is that a
it's a great
Saturday?
way to start the year. It's a Saturday, August 9th. Very good. Weather's usually been very kind to us the last couple of years. If it's not kind, we'll move most of the stuff inside. And the live entertainment will be on the stage as opposed to
What
the
kind of
outdoor
live
stage.
entertainment?
We have two bands this year, 4 on the floor, and then another band, something Eddie's, but yeah,
Cousin Eddie.
Yeah, Cousin Eddie. Yep. But yeah, and they're very, very good.
Sounds like a fun time.
They do lots of covers. Yeah, no.
How many years have you been doing this?
We started the Taste of St. Mark in 2012. We moved it to the summer in 2019, so 13 years.
Will you be wearing your green
I will not. I will be wearing my
Okay.
St. Mark Mansfield polo. I will not be wearing my Irish, but my friends from the Irish Fest will be down there advertising their festival, as will our friends from Kenny's that'll have a corned beef quesadilla, and we have Pottstown Meat and Deli, a couple other vendors I can't think off the top of my head, and then the 8th graders are doing an ice cream sundae stand, which will be an additional cost as well.
that sounds
But
wonderful.
it's
That'll be
either-
an extra cost?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah,
That's
so,
understandable.
Yeah, because they're raising funds for their 8th grade trip. But no, we hope you can make it Saturday, August 9th.
You
Yep.
got it. Okay, don't go away. We have our pet tip of the
So
day.
much.
Today's pet tip is
Where's
brought
the
to you
eighth grade
by
trip going?
Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Does your dog ever sound like she's turning into a goose, an intermittent honking cough, or a choking when excited? The trachea or windpipe is normally a rigid tube carrying air from the upper respiratory system into the lungs. It is made up of C-shaped rings of cartilage connected by muscle and covered by a thin membrane. As pets age, these rings can weaken, causing the trachea to flatten. When this happens, the membrane droops into the windpipe, causing the tickling sensation that induces a cough. Or when excited, they suck air so quickly that the membrane closes the airway. This defect that causes the cartilage rings to weaken is hereditary in many small and toy breed dogs. It can occur in these small dogs at any age. Obesity and respiratory infections such as kennel cough or pneumonia, exposure to irritants like cigarette smoke or dust, and heart enlargement are often secondary problems that affect or worsen the tracheal collapse. For many pets, resolving the secondary problems will also resolve the clinical signs of tracheal collapse. For overweight pets, shedding extra pounds will help. If you are a smoker, you may have to use an air filter system in your home to help your pet breathe easier, or quit smoking. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Thank you kindly, Louis Linder. And another reminder, folks, if you have pets, particularly dogs, but other pets as well, look after them. Don't leave them outside too long, or you won't have a pet much longer for that matter. This is terrible weather for dogs, cats, and animals. And I think maybe snakes, they could handle the hot weather better than any of the other.
They get down in the earth. They go down, they go down the
They
basement.
burrow
They
down.
go down the basement.
Yeah, the 4 floors below. Well, tip of the hat to the people of St. Mark's for picking up the ball. I don't want to be too unkind to Pace, but they pretty well have bombed out on quite a few things. The Taste is one of those,
used to be.
and the Santa Parade isn't what it used to be many years ago, and the Gus Macker is gone for a variety of reasons. They did move it over to Washington, Illinois. You remember a few years ago?
For a while, but it didn't.
And that didn't do too well.
Yeah.
So we are struggling, but it was exciting to learn this morning, and that's why people should tune into this program, because we're very local, and that's spelled Local rather than the other spelling. Is that the theater, the Scottish Rite Theater, is alive and well, and has a number of shows on the agenda that you read for our audience a little earlier. So I'm glad to hear that it's.
That's a good thing.
Who else did we see? There were some pretty good bands
Yeah.
coming, plus several tribute bands.
great.
A Fleetwood Mac tribute
Wow.
tribute
Yeah.
band
Okay, they
and,
might be getting back
and a
together.
Red Hot Chili Peppers tribute band.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try to get a hold of somebody at the Scottish Rite Theater and have them maybe come on the show tomorrow and help them out. We want things of that nature in entertainment venues to succeed, not fail in Peoria.
It's being leased by an organization called Temple Live, which holds concerts in a number of cities around the country, and this is one that hopefully will help revive that
reach
venue.
out to them.
And your brother has indicated he'd like to see us allow people to be on the show. I don't know how technically we can do that. but
I'm having a good ongoing conversation with Tim right now.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Is he on medication?
Yes.
I've invited him to call us, but now we're running out of time, so
Yeah.
maybe we can do that tomorrow or some
I'll
future
give you
day.
his address. You can go over and.
And Tim, is that his name?
Thank you for listening, Tim.
There is a fee associated with it.
There is.
Yeah. We didn't have, but now we do.
Now we do.
Because we don't want to go belly up like Pace of Peoria. Hey, have a great day, everybody. Stay cool. Remember, God loves you, and so do we. So long, everybody.